Hurts, slant, Brown, lunge, touchdown Philadelphia. A.J. Brown snatched it out of the air for the score. Check swing, well hit ball, and there it goes. Number 300 for Ken Griffey Jr. One of the youngest ever in the major leagues to reach the 300 home run plateau.
Bothered by Lou. Iverson.
How about that?
Steps over to Ron Lou.
7 straight points by Iverson.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me make sure that there is no lag. Make sure to check on your sides if there's no lag on the stream. So once again, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hump Day. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Louis coming back at you with another live stream. Make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure those post notifications are turned on. Make sure you share it on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. Appreciate you guys as always, man. Peace and blessings. Hope everybody is doing well. Again, hit the like button as you guys come in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hope everybody is doing great. Shout out to Zeddy Perry in the building. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I put the link in the chat already. So if you're trying to come in and basically talk about this situation, we definitely got to talk about it. So this is why I called it the title that I did. It's called, What is the Agenda? So we're having a meeting today about these Los Angeles Lakers. And this is mostly talking about Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis and what's been going on recently, because it's all centered around the common denominator that is LeBron James. And I know we're talking to LeBron for the billionth time about a billionaire in LeBron, and I get it. But it's something that got to be talked about, because we got to try to figure out what's really going on, because I feel like there's just a lot of things that need to be mentioned and trying to figure out what's really the root issue. I mean, despite the trade that's happened with Jared Vanderbilt and D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley, and you add the addition of Mo Bamba, who, you know, should be playing soon, but Russell Westbrook is no longer a Los Angeles Laker, and he hasn't played a single game as of yet. And I just got a feeling that they're trying to keep Russell Westbrook out as much as they can before he gets bought out. And I'm wondering how long that's going to be, so we don't even know. And he should be on another team right now. I'm wondering what team should be able to pick him up. And then Anthony Davis recently, you know, he hasn't really been looking like himself. I mean, he's been rebounding the basketball. Defensively, he hasn't been that great. I mean, against Golden State, he was great, like about up until the fourth quarter, you know, in that game. And then against the Blazers, you know, once again, he rebounded the basketball, had a couple of block shots. But, you know, the Laker defense allowed the Blazers to hit 23 threes last night. I'm sorry, not last night, on Monday, and they got their butts kicked. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, that's the way it is. Shout out to Ryan. What's going on? What's going on? Yo, Zeddy, if you're in the building, man, just click on the chat if you want to come in, and we could definitely talk about that. So just want to get your thoughts on some things. So we got to address the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen, because quite honestly, the Lakers right now, despite the fact that they're only they are 6 games under 500. You know, there was an opportunity for them to try to close in within that 500 mark for the basketball season, and there's still some basketball left, but it's not a lot, because right now with 24 games left, and this is their 59th game of the season, they're 6 games under, and they are not that far off from a playoff spot, but they're not really taking advantage of this schedule. And we got to ask ourselves, what's really going on now that LeBron has broken this scoring record? Let's ask ourselves that question. Like, what's really happened since LeBron has gotten that scoring record? There's that. What's happened to Anthony Davis since LeBron has broken the scoring record? He really hasn't been the same if you look at his mentality. The Lakers are 1-2 in the games that LeBron has missed since he got that scoring record. That's number one. LeBron is supposed to play tonight. We also have to talk about the fact that, you know, LeBron got booed at the Super Bowl because he was in Phoenix, Arizona. The Lakers organization came out and said that his MRI results came out clean, but LeBron missed time. And I know what the fans are going to, the fan base is going to say, They're going to say, he could probably have something lingering going on. But the funny thing is with LeBron's injuries, especially in a Laker uniform, they've been very vague. It's like we don't really know the only real significant injury that he really had was probably the grade 1 or grade 2 groin pull, and then also the high ankle sprain he suffered 2 years ago. Other than that, all his other injuries have been pretty vague. Shout out to TJ Gaming in the building. He says, do you think that LeBron requests a trade in the summer? I think it depends on the landscape of the NBA and what team is possibly going to put themselves in a position to win a championship. If LeBron sees that, because I think to me, LeBron at this point, he's waiting for his son to get drafted into the NBA, and it's either going to be one or two things. He's either going to play with him on the team or he's going to play against him, whatever team he lands on. So I think that to me is LeBron's goal. I know people are saying that LeBron wants to win, but I have to question that because it's like from what I'm seeing, I'm not sure, what the case is. Because quite honestly, when you look at this Laker roster, they actually have good pieces. They actually got good pieces, but the problem is they address some holes. We have to see what they look like at full strength. I know people are saying that they feel like it's LeBron, but LeBron is the key to everything. There's several keys, though. Because here's the truth. Now that Russell Westbrook is gone, like, who are you going to blame him on? Who's going to get the blame now? It's probably going to be Anthony Davis. And if AD gets protection somehow, which I don't think he is, especially with the news that he's been making lately, it's probably going to be D'Angelo Russell. If not D'Angelo Russell, you got Malik Beasley. And the crazy part is that it's not that I don't like the Malik Beasley move. I think it was a good pickup for the Lakers. But the fact that Scottie Pippen Jr. is on this team and Malik was messing with his mom is kind of like, I know at the end of the day you have to be professionals, but, I'm just wondering, I'm just hoping that there's no like locker room issue or anything like that. So Ryan says, I can see him going to he going to say, well, I passed Kareem's record, so that makes me untouchable. Oh, to remove him as a Laker. Ryan says LeBron don't care for winning. He's just about longevity. Shout out to Earl Phillips in the building. What's up? Like I said, guys, I put the link up in the chat. It's like one of the first ones. So like, if you want to definitely come in here and like, give your thoughts, I'm more than happy to welcome you on. Zeddy said that he had to charge his phone, so he'll probably be in a bit. But for those watching, make sure to hit the like button as you guys come in. Share the stream too. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question, man. Well, what's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers? What's going on? Like, what's going on with Anthony Davis? Let me ask you guys, do you honestly feel that Anthony Davis has kind of mentally checked out for this team? He's been a little bit moody as of late. He wasn't really too happy at the night that LeBron broke the record. According to AD, he was focused on wanting to win the game, and they ended up losing to Oklahoma City. And LeBron goes to the Super Bowl. He gets booed. The funny thing is I've been looking at YouTube videos and I've been looking at Instagram videos and Twitter videos that people have put it up. And I feel like the noise got drained out because the sound doesn't really sound the same when I hear it, when I watch the videos. But one indication that gave me the hint that LeBron did get booed is you have to look at the face of Savannah James, his wife, when she was sitting next to him in the press box. And when LeBron did get the course of boos, you don't hear it in the audio because I feel like somebody was messing with the audio. But the way she looked at him told me, like, she kind of looked at him like, wow, they really do hate you out here. And because they put a close-up of her when LeBron did the famous, crown me. He had the crown me moment. And Ryan says that AD finally seen what LeBron really is like a person. AD has finally seen the light. The thing is, I don't know, because it's easy for me to say that, but some people are thinking that he's going through a divorce, and like, I didn't even know there were issues between him and his wife, because that's what some people are speculating. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not even sure. Some people are feeling that a part of me believes that AD was in trade talks, and I feel like to me that's kind of like what's taken away his desire. And the fact that the Lakers didn't win the game the night that LeBron got the scoring record, because it's like I said, on a night like that, you kind of would want to win the game, because I think it would ease away like any type of controversy, any type of issue. But the thing is, it's an issue. And AD really hasn't been feeling himself right now. And it's like, where is AD's head at? I mean, there's been rumors now going around that there's quite possibility that if the Chicago Bulls pick up Russell Westbrook, that Anthony Davis might be following along with him. I think Anthony Davis still has about what, at the end of the season, I think he has 3 years on his contract left. But let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that if Russell Westbrook plays as soon as possible and he's able to have an impact on the basketball team, whether it be starting or whether it him being the sixth man, do you think that it possibly might kill the narrative that he was the problem in Los Angeles? Because I'm going to say this right now, Russell Westbrook was absolutely awful. He was absolutely terrible, but it was not, and I criticized Russ on his play and some of the comments that he made. He's got to hold himself accountable on that, and he's been babied for pretty much most of his career, if not all of his career. I've said it before, and I've made numerous videos on it, but my issue is that why are we getting personal calling him a vampire? Like, he's the reason that he sucks the blood out of the room. And I said that if Russell Westbrook is a vampire, then LeBron is Dracula. And quite honestly, I keep telling people that LeBron does not care about the Lakers. He doesn't care about the Lakers because if he honestly cared about the Lakers, he would be about winning championships. Right now, he knows because, again, what he's doing, he's still trying to make this mission that he can catch up to Michael Jordan. But LeBron knows deep down that he can't do that. So what he's doing now is he's chasing longevity records to try to push his case for Ben being the GOAT. And he says, and he tells like guys like Shaq and all these other people that, that's not for me to talk about. He's like, I know that I'm one of the greatest. And he said, you know what, I'm gonna say myself that I'm the greatest. Here's the thing, LeBron James, I don't have a problem with you believing that you're the greatest player of all time. Quite honestly, Kobe Bryant should feel that he's the greatest player of all time. Michael Jordan should feel that he's the greatest player of all time. Shaquille O'Neal should feel like he's the greatest player of all time. Tim Duncan should feel like he's the greatest player of all time. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar should feel like he's the greatest of all time. Larry Bird should feel like he's the greatest of all time. Irvin Magic Johnson should feel like he's the greatest of all time. Wilt Chamberlain should feel like he's the greatest of all time. And I could go on and on and on in terms of those like really top 15 to 20 players. You should really honestly believe it's the ego that drives you to be great. That's not the problem. The problem is that those guys respected the game. Okay? They respected the game to the point where even though they honestly believe in their heart of hearts that they're the best in the game, they still show respect and humility to the game, knowing the competition that they went up against. The problem is with Bron is he doesn't. Because if he did, if you remember, Kevin McHale said, let the others tell you that you're great. And Kevin McHale said that LeBron has been great for the game. So my question is, where is the hate that Kevin McHale said? He just said that by him saying that coming out loud. I mean, you guys remember when LeBron called himself the greatest player of all time on his HBO show, The Shop? Did you remember the reaction of Chris Webber? Did you remember? Oh, shout out to iShowSpeed. Hello to you. If you remember, did you see Chris Webber's face? And he was like, wow. See, like, he wasn't expecting that. Kevin McHale said, you don't just go out and say that you're the greatest. He said, because he feels like it's a sign of disrespect. He said, you let other people say that you're great. And he's on record as saying LeBron is a great kid and LeBron is great for the game. He's been great for the game. I don't see where the hate. Bro, even Isaiah Thomas, one of LeBron's biggest supporters due to his disdain for Michael Jordan, even said, even if Michael believes that, and he said he may think that, he said, but you just don't come out and say that you're the greatest of all time. I mean, come on, man. Even the Isaiah Lord Thomas III said, I'm going to have to take a timeout on that. I've said that in past videos before. He said that. It's about respect and humility for the people that have come before you. That's all it is, man. But my problem is that I feel like LeBron's problem and the reason why because look, did you guys know that LeBron just yesterday, while he was sitting out, he put a post on his Instagram And I know, again, his fans are going to go, see, bro, you obsessed with him. See, you follow him. I was like, bro, yeah, you need to chill out, bro. Y'all showing all this energy. Y'all got to show the same energy for your families. It's crazy. My point is, he posted a picture of him breaking that record, and he's like, wow, man, it's so real, man. I just can't believe, it hasn't hit me. Like, it still hasn't hit me, like, even a week after it happened. And then he says, strive for greatness, the kid from Akron. And he posted this just after the Lakers lost to the Blazers by 12. But that doesn't indicate how bad the Lakers lost. They were down by as many as 27 points. They got off to a 14-5 lead. By the end of the first quarter, they were down 15. For the rest of that quarter, ladies and gentlemen, the Portland Trail Blazers went on a 29-5 run to end the first quarter. 29-5. Remember when Dame Lillard and the Blazers, they were up 25 points, and Dame Lillard struggled all game long. He got to the free throw line, but he wasn't even really getting calls, even though he forced some calls that, I felt that he shouldn't blow the whistle on, but that they shouldn't have given him the whistle for. But at the same time, it was like the Lakers were allowed and they were able to come back into the game. And remember, Thomas Bryant was the one that had that 30-point game, which was a season high, and he got a double-double. I think it was 30 and 14. The Lakers came back and won by double digits. It was a huge turnaround. In this game, Dame hit 8 3-pointers and scored 40. Dame hit 8 3-pointers and scored 40. The Lakers got blown off the floor. And I know what people are saying. It's all about continuity. It's all about chemistry. But getting back to what if the reason I mentioned that Blazer game is because of, what happened prior and then what happened after. And then once, like I said, LeBron posted it, and it was like, okay, LeBron, it's great that you decide to post it. I'm surprised that LeBron didn't post it on the night or the day after it happened. He posted it a week after. And this is after the Lakers just lost. And it's almost like a way as a distraction. But he does that. But then in the next several pages, he made sure, ladies and gentlemen, to get every single angle possible of him shooting that jump shot to break Kareem's all-time scoring record. The next 9 slides on his Instagram page, on his post, was LeBron taking the same shot for so many different angles. So LeBron James, it ain't too many players that have played 20 years in the NBA. So I give LeBron a lot of credit for that. But my problem is that, dude, are you about winning or you just about personal stats? Because what you're giving the indication is, despite this trade, despite the fact that you got 24 games left, you're giving the indication that this season is over and that the Lakers ain't winning the title. That's the message that you're giving to the rest of the team. And I mentioned a few streams ago, Russell Westbrook gets traded. Funny how that happens. The minute that LeBron comes out and tells Michael Wilbon on ESPN that Kyrie, I've won a championship with Kyrie, and I believe I could win a championship with Kyrie because, we were able to win a championship together. I know the type of talent that he is. And I said that Anthony Davis kind of feel a little bit slighted because you guys did win a title together, but it's kind of like it's making it seem like, well, what do you think of that bubble title? Because quite honestly, the last real championship that LeBron won, let's be really honest, was that 2016 championship because it was in a real regular season and in the playoffs. Now we could talk about circumstances and all that and whatnot, and that's cool. But my point is that AD, I'm pissed off at AD because he's talking about how pissed off he is, but you're not playing pissed off. And I feel like you've checked out because you're not getting the calls neither. You're not getting the calls. I'm amazed that Dennis Schroeder has been getting more superstar calls than Anthony Davis has, if you look at this little recent stretch that the Lakers are playing. Anthony Davis has been getting fouled a lot, but they're not really calling anything. And I feel like that's another reason why AD's not playing as hard as he definitely could. and it's been really disappointing. They play the Pelicans tonight, and LeBron is expected to play. But LeBron has been getting a lot of shade. I mean, the crazy part is people have been throwing shade at LeBron on his Instagram page. They've been throwing shade on his Instagram page, when he put the post. And the crazy thing that bothers me is that Adam Silver has watered down this All-Star game, that it doesn't even really mean anything. Like, I'm not even, I don't even watch All-Star games anymore. This whole team captain stuff. And I've been saying to myself, why is it that LeBron gets to be captain every single year? Like, why can't you guys just switch it up? Like, Steph has been captain, Kevin Durant has been captain, and Giannis has been captain. And Giannis is captain again. But LeBron gets to be captain every single time. And I think what's happening is that people are getting really tired of it. And it's not really much the All-Star game, but it's just the way that things have been moving. Wait, LeBron is not playing tonight? Is that true? It said that he was possibly going to play tonight. No, if LeBron doesn't play tonight, that's going to be a bad look, because if he doesn't play and then he plays in the All-Star game, that's going to be a real bad look. I mean, even if it is in Utah, because that's where the All-Star game is this year. It's in Utah. But if he doesn't play tonight and he plays in the All-Star game, I'm telling you right now, Bron is going to really get it. He's getting a lot of shade thrown his way. And you know what's crazy, guys? Today's February 15th, but guess whose birthday's in 2 days? That'd be MJ. Guess what? Also, the playoff 13s come out on February 18th, I think, on Saturday. So they come out on Saturday. Let me check. So I'm on ESPN.com right now, just looking. Oh, no, wait. It says February 14th out. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Let me click on the injury report. I thought he was playing tonight. Shout out to Ron Duffney. What's up? What's going on? Let me see this. Let me see this. I'm about to actually go to his, because I clicked on the New Orleans game. Hopefully things change. Oh, Gary Payton this. Oh, okay. So Gary Payton II has a core muscle. And he's going to be reevaluated in a month. Oh no, LeBron James was upgraded to questionable for Wednesday's game. Wait, it says left ankle. I thought it was his foot. So AD is probable tonight. Oh, Scottie Pippen Jr. isn't on, no, but he got sent down. He got sent down to the G League. Oh, okay. Yeah, so LeBron is questionable and Davis is probable. Well, we know Anthony Davis is playing, so that's not going to change. No, LeBron is going to play tonight. The thing is, if he doesn't play against the Pelicans, there's no Zion and there's no CJ tonight. So no Zion, no CJ. LeBron doesn't play tonight, it's going to look really bad if he plays on All-Star Weekend. But you already know that LeBron is going to play All-Star Weekend. If he does, and then he sits out the next game, I think they play Golden State right after the break. And I think they're in Golden State again, and then they have another game against them in April in Los Angeles at Crypto. But they play them again. Because the funny thing is, before they play Golden State on Saturday, they hadn't played Golden State since opening night. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. The next two games are in Staples. I said Staples. The last two meetings are in Crypto because they already played the two meetings in Chase Center. I totally forgot. Guys, hit the like button. So my question is, what's going on? Earl says, what's the difference between Zion and AD? Well, one similarity is that they get injured a lot. They miss a lot of games. Well, Zion is more explosive than AD. AD's the better mid-range shooter. I think AD's the better rebounder. Zion, to me, has got to improve his rebounding because Zion could definitely is a player that should be averaging 11 to 12. He's like that Charles Barkley, Shawn Kemp prototype type player. But yeah, Zion definitely needs to be a better rebounder. But I feel like Zion has a lot. He is very impactful when he plays, and he plays enough games. He definitely has impact. The only thing Zion's got to really work on is his shot, keep his weight down, and definitely work on his handle because he turns the ball over a lot. I mean, quite honestly, I don't really care about the All-Star game because the All-Star game LeBron is going to play. And best believe he's going to be going for that MVP. He's going to be going for that MVP. That's what's in common about both players. Best believe LeBron is going to be going for that MVP. All right, guys. So let me ask you with Russell Westbrook. Do y'all think it was okay for the media to call Russell Westbrook a vampire, saying that he sucks the blood out of an organization? The fact that Brian Windhorst even laughed about it was the crazy part. What just made it laughable like that. And it's like, I have no problem with you criticizing Russ because I've been criticizing Russ in terms of the way he plays, and I feel like he doesn't play winning basketball at times. But the fact that you went on national TV right in front of your four-letter network and just called that man a name, like, that's defamation of character. Like, at that point, you're taking it too far. And I'm just like, why didn't LeBron step up for Russell Westbrook if you said that you believe in Russ? If you believe in Russell Westbrook, why didn't you call out the media, the people that work honestly for you who are in your pick pocket, and defend them? Why didn't you do that? See, I wonder why nobody's called out LeBron for that. LeBron's such a great leader, but he didn't even defend Russell Westbrook. It's because LeBron James made a mistake in bringing Westbrook over, and then Russell Westbrook got to be the scapegoat. And then from the minute that LeBron breaks that scoring record, Russell Westbrook is gone, right? And he's traded. A true leader protects his teammate, bro. Look, even when they criticized Russell Westbrook in OKC, Kevin Durant at least defended Russ. And I got mad at Russell because he decided to wear a dress. So when you wore a dress, you sold your soul, bro. You sold your soul. That's what you did. By you doing that, you were already gone. So everything here on in. And let me be honest with Russell Westbrook. He's been coddled a lot. The media are the same people that they pretty much put him on a pedestal with those triple doubles. They were in love. They were enamored. It's so funny that when he plays with LeBron James, he became the biggest enemy in the Los Angeles Lakers. He became the number one target of the Los Angeles Lakers. And then and the thing is also, it did not help that Russell Westbrook was just saying some ignorant shenanigan things. Russell Westbrook has a bad history with the media, and I get it. Like, the media, they could be a bunch of, clowns, man. They could be a bunch of clowns. They can ask stupid questions. But even when some media members were respectful, Russ would just do these things. And it's just like, Russ has a problem that he doesn't like to hold himself accountable. And it's like, you have two unaccountable players on the same team. But what's the difference? One has accomplished more than the other. So they're going to defend the one that's accomplished the most. That being LeBron. LeBron's won championships. LeBron's won finals MVPs. So LeBron's going to be protected. Russell Westbrook has not. He's won an MVP, but he's never won an NBA title, even though he's been to the finals. And that was what, over 10 seasons ago? I will never forget in the bubble, man. Russell playing for the Rockets. He scores on the Lakers, And he said, y'all better not, y'all better say, I said, y'all better double me. I looked at this man like he's crazy. I said, Russ, I said, they're not going to double you because you can't shoot. You know, so Zeddy, you can hear me, right? Well, first let me add him on the stream.
Yo, can you hear me, Louis?
I can definitely hear you. Let me just make an adjustment to my screen here.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yo, Zeddy, welcome to the stream, man. How's everything going, man?
And it's been going good, bro. How about you?
Yeah, man. You know, I'm all right, man. Just waiting for this week to end, man, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be flying away soon. So I already mentioned it already. So like next week, I'll be uploading stuff, but I'm just not gonna be on live streams until probably like Friday, Saturday next week, just because I'm gonna be down south. So you know, a little southern hospitality and all that, just a little vacation, and all that kind of stuff. But so we got the title. You know, what's the agenda? Like, you know, what you got on this whole situation with AD and Russ, and like, you know, with LeBron just being the common denominator and all this, because I got questions I gotta ask you, man. So, you know, go ahead. What's your take on it?
Okay. I think I'm gonna start with Russ first,
All right,
since
perfect.
like he's been the scapegoat like these past 3 years, or 2.5 years, or like however long he's been in LA. So my first thing is, like you said, like Russ deserves some culpability in uh, the way he performed in LA. Like he didn't perform that well. Like made a lot of costly mistakes, costly turnovers. His shot selection wasn't that good, and he was just not a good fit. So let me just get that out of the way. So that's one thing, but the media and their treatment of him, like I don't agree with, actually. I mean, yes, you could criticize like his play on the court, but like once you get personal and start calling people like, "Oh, he's a vampire. He's sucking all the energy out of the room," I think that's going too far. And I think uh, the media, or whatever you want to call it, like they're culpable. Like they just broke the man down, and I'm like, yeah, he brought some of it on himself, but like I think it gets to a point where it becomes more than basketball or sports, to a certain extent. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and real quick before you continue, this is in the case of Russell Westbrook, it's two things can be true. Number one, Russell Westbrook's attitude and his persona, he brought quite a few of these things on himself, and I blame the media for putting him up to the point to where none of the coaches that he played for really held him accountable. I look at Billy Donovan, I look at Scott Brooks. Like those coaches kind of let him do what he wanted, and I feel like they knew that with his type of personality, they were going to clash, which is kind of like why they always made sure that, you know, he got the love that he needed and he was allowed to do what he did. But at the same time, the media is to blame too, because they propped him up and they put him on this triple double. Like, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. And I said before, he had a great regular season win percentage, you know, with the triple doubles, 70%, 75% of the games won. The problem was in the postseason, that's where those flaws got exposed in terms of the triple double really didn't mean anything if it's not impacting winning. Now, he didn't have like the best team, you know, when he started to go on these streaks, but he did have some talent. And we obviously have to look at the Paul Georges and the Carmelo Anthonys that got upset in the first round back-to-back years before he went to Houston. And I mentioned what he did in the bubble that was just like straight up, I don't know, he was just straight up delusional with some of the stuff that he was doing, like knowing that he wasn't going to win. And what bothers me is that LeBron was laughing at him, especially when he got into that altercation with Rondo's brother in the bubble. And yet LeBron James decided 2 years later, oh yeah, let's bring Russ in because I'm about to troll Kevin Durant to see if he could win an NBA championship. And it backfired. And then LeBron wanted the front office to clean up his mess. And it took him a while, but they finally got it done. And what gets me mad is that LeBron pretended like he cared about Russ. And they're like, well, yeah, well, LeBron cares about him, and I think he means well, but it's not a good fit. I was like, LeBron, for someone with the highest basketball IQ in NBA history, from what I hear, especially from his cult fans, you should have known from a long time ago, watching Russ's entire career, that he was not a great fit to begin with. Yeah, you decided to bring him in. And when you realized it wasn't a great fit, it was his fault, right? But let's just poo-poo on Russ because it was the easy thing to do. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there.
You could.
Yeah, it must have been some kind of connection problem, which is why I took you out. All right, man, but you could continue. I think you was probably going to talk about Anthony Davis next, right?
Yeah, AD would I'm saving the best for last, bro. Okay, okay. So AD, I know he's been injury prone like pretty much his entire career, and the Lakers, they traded their whole that whole young core with Ingram, with Lonzo, and all them for a superstar in AD. But like, was it worth it in the end? Like, yeah, they got one championship out of it, but other than that, like, I think this whole LA experiment has been, I don't want to say a failure. It's been a bit of a failure, actually. I gotta admit that. But it's been just one whole disastrous tenure throughout these past 4 years in LA. And even at the beginning of the year, like I think they started like 2-8 or 1-9 or whatever. They had
They started 2-10.
2-10. They had an absolutely terrible record. Then LeBron, like, he got hurt early in the season, and like he sat out a few games. And then we saw we saw the offense actually run through AD, and I think they won 5 out of 8 games, and like they looked like an actual team that could I'm not gonna say they were gonna win a championship, but like they looked like a coherent unit. In AD, like he looked like he was passionate about the game. Like he was scoring 38, 15. Like he had like 3 blocks. Like he was averaging like crazy numbers. But then LeBron comes back, and but let's be honest, like his whole goal this season was to get that scoring record. Like, no question about it, bro. And people don't want to acknowledge that. Like, ever since like the season started, it's always been like, oh, he's in year 20, like he's about to break Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. And I think the narrative wasn't really about winning, and it was more about the record. So I think AD, like I thought I was like being too paranoid at first, because I'm like,
Yeah.
every duo like has their issues, but they get over it soon. But I'm like, I don't know. There's something going on in that locker room that we don't know about, because I could just sense it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep. Yeah.
But like that was my take on AD, actually. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them, but like I think him and LeBron are, I don't think they're on good terms right now.
Real quick, Earl says Russ wanted everything his way. Exactly. And that's what I said about Russell Westbrook. And I felt like the worst thing that happened to Russell Westbrook was that he would have, the thing is with Russ, and I got to say this, I felt like he would have continued of getting praise if he had never signed with the Lakers. And what happened is that not only did listen, I've already knew about Russ being exposed with the whole triple-double stuff, and looking at some of the things that he does, and he doesn't always play winning basketball. But the thing is that I felt like LA made him miserable, and he kind of got. I mean, the thing was, he was already exposed. I knew this a long time ago. I knew Russ was already exposed a long time ago. It's just that the fact that Laker fans see it, it's like, why would you praise a player that you know does not play winning basketball and you've seen a history of it? You decide to bring that on your team. Again, this isn't no personal disrespect to Russ. This is him as a basketball player. You already seen the history. Why would you bring that on your team? You knew he wasn't a great fit, but you felt like you could make it work. The problem is there was really no sacrifice. It took Russ an entire season to sacrifice his game, and Russ did not come off the bench. And I know he was combating Frank Vogel all season about that. And Frank Vogel was talking about the front office was like giving him the okay to pretty much sit him on the bench. And if y'all remember, AD was not really rocking with Russ like that last year. He was following what LeBron was doing when Russell Westbrook was doing stuff like, I said, I wish I could be in there and help him and, just keep playing. Like, don't give up and things like that. I was just trying to encourage him and, try to, be a team player. AD didn't want nothing to do with Russ. He was just following what LeBron was doing. And he was following both on the bat like, Russ, I can't believe you're doing it. I still remember a play early in the season against the Blazers at Crypto.com Arena. Late in the game, Blazers are up 2. The Lakers get a defensive stop. Russ runs the clock. Darvin Ham does, or should I say Darvin Scam, doesn't call a timeout. AD and LeBron are just letting Russ walk the ball up. They kind of let him do his thing because according to LeBron, I'm going to let Russ be Russ. Russ decides to take a jump shot right away. They don't get nothing set, and they have plenty of time to set something up to try to get a good shot. Even then, so when they didn't call a timeout. What did AD and LeBron do? They put their hands up in the air like, yo, what are you doing? And it ended up costing them the game. But this was earlier in the season, right?
Yeah.
My thing is, okay, Russ finally makes a sacrifice. He comes off the bench, starts to play well. He gives the second unit a jolt and a spark. But this is what AD realized when LeBron got hurt this year. AD was getting the ball. He was getting touches. Russ was feeding him off the pick and roll. Russ was feeding him in the fast break. Russ was feeding him in the pinch post, high post, low post. He was doing all of that. And what people need to understand about Anthony Davis especially thrives when he plays with point guards, a.k.a. Rajon Rondo, for example. AD plays some of his best basketball when he plays with a point guard. When LeBron was not in the lineup, Russ was able to push the pace, push the tempo, and in the half-court sets, if he was able to get some penetration, they was able to do some pick and roll, pick and pop with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was scoring in a variety of ways, and Anthony Davis was like the AD from New Orleans, possibly even better because AD was shooting 59% from the field and was giving you 27 and 12, the kind of numbers that you expect from a big man like Anthony Davis. But like you mentioned, Zeddy, once LeBron came back, that all changed because once that scoring record came within reach, and people forget this too, before this season started, when the Lakers had that tumultuous, awful 33-win season last year, the media was already putting it, they had lowered their expectations because last year it was all about, the Lakers, they're going to win the championship. They're going to come out the Western Conference. But because of what happened with that record, they lowered their expectations and like, we don't know what this Laker team is going to be. We don't expect them to do much. They might possibly be in a play-in, but they also was like, I guarantee you that the Lakers are going to make the playoffs, right?
Right.
Before I continue, let me look at the comments and then I'm going to ask you again. Jay says AD may want to win, but his display on the court isn't showing that a block is easy for him. 20 rebounds basically to him isn't hard. Winning means more than 19 points, especially with no Nurkic. And I got to get on AD for that. AD's going to get smoked for me because there was no big man. Nurkic was hurt. Yeah, you grabbed 20 rebounds, but 19 points ain't enough. You should have had 40. If Dame has 40, you should have around the same thing. You should have been impactful. But my thing is, there's something going on in that locker room, like you said, Zeddy, that's causing AD to, he may be grabbing rebounds, but his points are not having any type of impact. Now, I do also get that the referees they're like holding their whistle with AD, so he's not getting some of the foul calls, but you should still be playing aggressive to the point that they're going to have to blow that whistle. It's almost like if when LeBron's on the court, you get that whistle, but when he's not, you don't. Yeah. And I feel like this is why I say agenda, because I feel like it's a narrative thing. I mean, Dennis Schroeder was getting superstar calls. Well, let's face it, Dennis Schroeder's not going to get He's not gonna get those type of foul calls if he's on another team. He's not.
No.
Earl says, "What up, Jay? Man, you know AD can't do it by himself. He barely standing up." Yeah. And that's my problem with Anthony Davis, because I know AD wants to win, but he's not displaying it. Like, why is it that you cannot show LeBron that you can win without him? Especially now with these pieces of Jarrett Vanderbilt. The only thing that sucks about him is that he offensively, you can't expect much from him,
Right.
unless if he could get some things on the move. But he's a good defender. He has some impact on the defensive end. He could go on multiple positions, so that's good. D'Angelo Russell can't play defense for a lick. He does give him the spacing, but I just wonder, like, is he going to be able to be effective with the ball in his hands? And remember, D'Angelo Russell does better as a number 2 option than he does as a number 3 option. And on this team, he's going to be the 3rd option, and especially if he starts, because if he does, his numbers are going to take a hit, and he's not as effective as a number 3. So he's got to be a number 2. But like I said, his defense is a liability. So with his defense, he would get exposed in the playoffs, especially in the pick and roll. So that's not a good thing. And then Malik Beasley, shout out to RXN. He's really good. Malik Beasley is good. Instant offense, but defensively, playmaking, not his best strong suits, which is some of the things that the Lakers need. But anyway, getting back to what you were saying, I guess you were now, after Anthony Davis, going to address the elephant in the room, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Get to it.
Okay. So the common denominator between like everything going on right now, AD, Russ, the front office, trade rumors, is none other than the king himself, LeBron Ramon James. Whew.
Jay Reed.
Huh?
I said Jay Reed. Yep.
Where do I even start, bro? First of all, bro, like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating, but
it's gonna be hate regardless by his code. They're gonna call it hate regardless.
No, but I'm just telling you what I've seen, because I've watched at least like 75% of like Lakers games this season, and I know what the problem is. LeBron, like, this is the most ever, like, not just this year, even last year. This is the most ever I've seen him shoot. And I'm like, he says he's a pass first player, but like, it's total bullshit, bro. Like, how are you a pass first player and you average more shot attempts than, MJ and Kobe combined? But that's besides the point, bro. My point is this. I don't think it was really about winning this season with LeBron, bro. Like, because once he realized that that record was in reach, you started seeing him shoot like 1,000 threes, like not really, get his points in the flow of the offense. He still got like his assists, but like I don't think winning was the main goal. And I'm like, what? Maybe the team isn't constructed, their well or whatever. Like, it's not the best team, I gotta admit. But once I saw him go to the Super Bowl or whatever and like crown, like I don't want to say he's not hurt, because like he could have an injury, he could be faking it. I don't know. Like, and what you do in your personal time is like, I don't care. But you got to realize optics too, because like, how does it look like your team is struggling? You're 6 games out of the playing spot, and you're going to the Super Bowl, like, just living it up and like, saying I'm the king, like king me crown. I'm the kid from Akron, like I'm the all-time scoring champ. While your team is like struggling to get wins without you, you should be on the court. Like, it's one thing if you're hurt. But like, if you're injured, you could play, bro. Like, it's simple. And like, I just don't like, I just think there's an agenda with him, bro. And then I don't know. I think his true colors are starting to show. Like, if you could, elaborate on that.
Yeah, no, I could definitely elaborate it. And here's the thing that's getting lost, and I can expose it right now. Do you guys remember in the beginning of the season that LeBron put a tweet out and that he said after missing the playoffs last year that he was never going to miss the playoffs ever again? And what
Yeah,
did he do? What did Jay Reed from Akron do? He deleted the tweet.
yeah,
And I said, if you're that confident as a leader, you stand and leave that tweet up so that you live up to the tweet, so that you could say that you led this Laker team to the playoffs. And you deleted the tweet. So what is that basically saying? That's basically saying that you're not a leader, LeBron James, and do you really care about the Lakers and making the playoffs? And the answer is no. And you got criticized, that you had to post that, delete that tweet down. Or how about when before last season, when you picked up Russell Westbrook, you said
keep the same.
criticize my team, talk about our ages, talk about how we're injured, talk about how we're old. But please, I need you guys to keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Please keep that same narrative energy. And I remember he put it in capital letters. Keep that same narrative energy exclamation point. What happened? You deleted the tweet. And you guys went on to have less wins than the 2002 Washington Wizards and the 2003 Washington Wizards, because they had the same amount of wins back-to-back years with an old Jordan.
Wow.
You had 33 wins, 4 less wins than the 2002 and 2003 Washington Wizards. And let me also say, let me expose this too. I know LeBron fans are not going to they're not going to like hearing this, but LeBron James scoring 30 points per game last year. He almost led the league in scoring, and I'm pretty sure he was tight that he didn't get to win the scoring title because of the fact that the Lakers were battling for their playoff lives, and he kind of was sitting out some games, and he was purposely playing some games to maintain his averages up to make sure he played enough games to qualify for the scoring title. But he would have got criticized for it. LeBron James, in my opinion, I know some people might disagree with this, but he had probably the most unimpactful 30-point per game season in NBA history. Considering, if you look at the circumstances, this team came in with championship aspirations, and you won 33 games, and you didn't even make the play-in. A play-in that was designed by Adam Silver to help for your benefit in case if your teams were bad. Because if you also remember in the bubble, I remember LeBron was opening his mouth when he was on his little podcast with Allie Clifton and Channing Frye and Richard Jefferson, and was talking about the bottom teams that were in the close for a playoff spot, that he decided that they should kind of fight to see who gets those final 2 spots. And voila, presto changeo, Adam Silver makes the play-in tournament because of how the ratings are going. But like I said again, LeBron's 30 points per game were the most unimpactful 30 points in NBA history. The most unimpactful. You had championship expectations. Not only did you live up to it, and look, and Anthony Davis deserves a lot of crap because he was full of crap the entire season. He was full of excuses, not just LeBron. He was full of excuses. Westbrook was full of excuses. Anthony Davis was full of excuses. So what does that tell you? The Lakers have no leadership. Because if your team has leadership, you don't make excuses. But that's what all 3 of them were doing the entire season. They were pointing the finger at one another indirectly to make sure that they try to absolve the blame. Anthony Davis was getting a ton of passes last year. So Russell Westbrook got the scapegoat. But now that Russell Westbrook is no longer there, Anthony Davis is going to get a full blunt of it now, being that he's the number 2 guy now.
Wait, I got a question actually, real quick.
Yeah, real quick before you ask it, I just want to read Jay's comment and then you can ask your question. He says, "Scam, as I call Darvin Scam. He has to stop starting 2 point guards, especially Dennis Schroeder. I don't get his infatuation with D'Angelo Russell and Dennis Schroeder in the lineup. It's not a good fit. Vanderbilt may have to start at small forward when LeBron doesn't play. Rui Hachimura isn't a starter. I've been said that. He should be coming off the bench. Beasley has to find his confidence or good luck in LA." And like I said, the Darvin Scam, he may not know. He doesn't really. Yeah, we could talk about that. He doesn't really know his rotations, right now, and he kind of is learning on the fly, so to speak. But once again, I'm going to say this: Darvin Scam is part of LeBron's Clutch Sports Agency. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? It means that Darvin Ham listens to what LeBron does, which is why he does not get on LeBron. Because a true NBA coach, a leadership style of a coach, is going to get on his best player. But Darvin Ham has gotten on Russell Westbrook, and he's probably gotten on some other players, but he's not going to get on LeBron James because he's part of his agency. The man is getting 2 checks, one from the NBA, from the Lakers, and he's getting one from Clutch Sports. But anyways, Eddie, go ahead, continue. What was your question?
Okay, so recently, I think it was yesterday actually, because Patrick Beverly just got traded, or he got moved just like Westbrook did.
Yep.
So he came out with a few comments saying the situation in LA, like I don't know, don't quote me on this because I don't think.
Well, we can because this is coming from Pat Beverly. So
okay, yeah, but like
I know how some people get because they're like, oh, how do you know? I was like, this is coming out of Pat Bev's mouth. That's not coming from us.
I forgot exactly what he said, but it was something on the lines of, or to the extent of, oh, the situation in LA is more than just basketball. Like it's, and he said it was like kind of, well, not kind of, it was really, really, really toxic. And I was wondering, like, okay, so you think after the season's over, like people's true colors will show out? Like, you think anything's gonna leak out about LeBron and how he was during the season, or talks of selfishness, or anything like that?
To answer your question, and I know LeBron fans. Well, I shouldn't say LeBron fans because there's a few objective fans out there who are a fan of LeBron, but they could also see bullshit. So let me say this: there's going to be people that are going to come out, and they probably might be anonymous. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to hide their identity, but they're going to call out LeBron. They're going to call out and they're going to talk about some of the things that happened during the season. Because I don't know if you saw this, but earlier today I was watching The Odd Couple, and it had Rob Parker, and he was talking to a guy by the name of Rob G. And they were talking about LeBron breaking Kareem's all-time scoring record. And so they talked about his Instagram post. And I was mentioning it earlier. I don't know if you heard, but the crazy part is that he was talking about how this is probably why a lot of dudes don't rock with LeBron like this. But this is what's crazy. He broke the scoring record on last Tuesday.
Right.
A week later, he posts it on his Instagram page. He posted it yesterday. That's how I know. So he congratulates himself, which is what he does every time he approaches a milestone. He self-congratulates himself every single time. Then he puts up 9 other posts, like multiple posts, because in Instagram you can do multiple posts. Of those 10 posts that he put within one page of his post, he made sure to put 9 videos of every angle that he made the shot to break Kareem's all-time scoring record.
Wow.
I said, dude, I'm thinking that it was 9 different videos. I'm thinking of him kissing Savannah, him, making a speech about the record or something like that, which is, I'm like, whatever. It's like it's his page. But he put 9 videos of every shot, of every single angle of when he hit the shot over the defender. I forgot who the defender was, but
I didn't know that, actually.
But he made sure that he got every single angle of him breaking that record with all the cameras out. And this is what I'm starting to think, and I've kind of come into this conclusion. I really feel that Bron is insecure about his legacy, because I'm saying that because you see the love that Kobe and Michael Jordan got. It was authentic. Like, they got authentic love. Like, whether you loved or whether you hated them, it was like the respect was there. Like, you could feel the respect. Like Kobe getting a standing ovation. I mean, I remember Nick Wright was crying when LeBron broke the record. He was like, "Do you remember when Kobe passed Michael Jordan, he got a standing ovation from the fans of Minnesota. I said because Kobe at one time was hated in the NBA by certain players and by a lot of fans. But when Kobe was on his way out, they realized the type of respect that Kobe had actually earned from them. They knew that Kobe was a competitor. Kobe played hard. I don't care about where you have Kobe as where you have him ranked all time. I could care less about that. There were people who disliked Kobe, who didn't cheer for Kobe. They wished the worst on Kobe. And the crazy part was everywhere Kobe went in his last season, he was getting standing ovations like everywhere. Sacramento, heated rival. San Antonio, standing ovation.
Denver.
Denver. Bro, Philadelphia, where he was booed heavily when he won his All-Star Game MVP years ago. When Kobe's sixth season. They gave him a long standing ovation. I remember Kobe spoke to the media after the game, and he was like, it felt like a weird hug. Like it was a weird hug. Like if it was just like a weird meeting. Like, when you see somebody that, you didn't like for a while, and it was kind of like they just come to appreciate you, and it just felt like a strange hug. That's what he said the relationship was. Even though, and like I said, Kobe played in the West Coast in a laid back state like California and Los Angeles. But Kobe brought that East Coast swag toughness because he's from Philly, brought it to LA and played it for 20 seasons. Say what you want about him as a shot chucker, offensive player. You could think his defense is overrated or whatever. Kobe did enough in 20 seasons that he won the respect of a lot of people. And another thing also is that LeBron is big in America. He's not big global-wise. Jordan and Kobe are more famous worldwide than LeBron will ever be. And to me, that eats LeBron alive, which is why he's done everything in his power for attention, because he's insecure about the attention that guys like Kobe and Michael Jordan get. I mean, this is the same guy that said, oh, I'm a pass first guy. Well, how can you be pass first when you're fifth all time? You're fifth all time in scoring average.
Right.
You're the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. So how can you be pass first? Another thing that I exposed a couple of videos ago was that LeBron James is fourth all-time in assists, but he's 27th all-time in assist average.
Yeah.
I said, bro, you can't be. I said, John Stockton and Magic Johnson are the true definition of pass first point guards. They're the true definition of pass first point guards. Jason Kidd is another one. Steve Nash is another one. They weren't great. They weren't big scorers. Magic, he got better as his career went on. As a scorer, after Kareem was getting old, he became the one that was actually more aggressive with his offense. But my point is, Magic averages 11 assists for his career. John Stockton averages almost 11 assists for his career. I think it's 10.5. Like they're 1 and 2, they're neck and neck. Stockton racked up more assists because he played longer than Magic, but Magic has the higher assist average. It's like you're basically saying, well, LeBron, he's better than Michael because he has more points than Michael. Well, that's because LeBron played 5 more years than Michael Jordan. And the crazy part is MJ really played like about 13.5 full seasons. He missed 5 of them due to the fact that he retired twice. You can add all those points, and if you were to add all those points, if Michael was playing, LeBron would still be chasing. Like, what if Kareem didn't go to college and he came out of high school? LeBron would still be chasing. Like, those are things that people don't really put into context and put into account.
Right.
So yeah, I think the thing with LeBron is that I think he just feels that because he's not. The thing is, there's people who know LeBron internationally, so let's not get it twisted. But the thing is, LeBron does not get that international love that a Kobe and Michael Jordan get. Kobe is loved in China. Like, LeBron didn't realize how big Kobe was until when he traveled with him for the Olympics, how big Kobe was in China. Kobe's huge over there. Another thing that people don't talk about is look how big Steph Curry is in Korea. If you've ever seen Steph Curry go to Korea, he is huge over there. Even Klay Thompson has a good fan base over there because he goes to Korea and plays. He does a lot of like summer camps and stuff like that over there. And so my problem is LeBron is just desperate to be loved. LeBron wants validation. He does anything to seek attention. This is not hate. This is a character trait. And this is what I noticed when I watch LeBron. What he says, how he moves. It's like, yo, look at me. I'm doing this. Look at me. Like, don't you see that I'm doing great things? And it's like, you're forcing yourself to be liked, which is why you're getting hate. That's the problem. You're being forced. People forget that Kobe Bryant was getting a lot of love early in his career. Once the rape trial happened, he was the most hated man in the NBA for quite some time. As a matter of fact, Kobe Bryant got booed when he requested a trade on the Stephen A. Smith radio show. Y'all remember that, 2007 summer, because he felt the Laker front office wasn't doing enough to put a team together to help him win championships. And when Kobe Bryant stepped on that court on opening night against the Houston Rockets, the Laker fans booed his ass. They booed his ass out of the building. They cheered for him because he ended up scoring 45 points and they almost won. But that's what you do. How do you respond to adversity? And that's what Kobe Bryant did. And what did the Lakers do? You know, a lot of things happened in that 08 season, but Kobe stepped up as a leader. Kobe Bryant won an MVP. The Lakers ended up going to the finals that year. So Kobe went through a lot of adversity during those rough years, like that tough 3-year stretch. And how Kobe do it? Kobe stuck with the grind, even though Kobe wanted out because he felt like they weren't doing enough. They said no. Kobe stuck around. He put the grind in, and that's what happened.
Right.
Kobe eventually was rewarded for his successes. He won back-to-back championships, back-to-back finals MVPs, because the narrative was he couldn't win without Shaquille O'Neal. And my issue with Shaq is jealous that LeBron is getting this attention for GOAT status. But Shaq, this is your fault. You were the leader of the Lakers in your prime. You didn't want to put in the work. You have told people countlessly over the years that you never practice hard. That's your fault. You could have been the greatest, but you screwed that up. I had somebody comment on one of my old videos about why Shaq was. Somebody commented on the Kobe Bryant video that I had put out of like, why does he get discredited for the 2 titles that he wins? Because the narrative was he couldn't win without Shaq. So why does he get discredited because he played with Pau Gasol? Like, I'm not trying to hate on Pau Gasol, but Pau Gasol is not – people don't understand that Pau Gasol is not somebody that you wouldn't call him an impact player. Like, he's really good, but like when it comes to impacting a basketball team, like that's not – you gotta surround Pau with the right pieces.
Yeah,
for him
he's
to have
good, but he's not an elite player.
Pau is good, but I've always said it. I said, look, to be honest with you, Pau was a guy who made the perfect fit to fit in the triangle. He was a perfect fit, to be honest with you. And I said that Kobe deserves credit because he was able to go from a number 2 to a number 1 when it comes to winning championships. And he was still putting up some number 1 numbers alongside Shaq. How many number 2s could say they could do that? Not a lot. So that's why I give Kobe, I give Kobe a lot of credit for those back-to-back titles. The shooting percentages may not look great, but the fact that he was able to win back-to-back without a top 75 player, oh, yeah, but he has Shaq. I said, yeah, but that was when he was the number 2 guy. I'm talking about as the number 1 guy, being the leader to 2 titles. He went to 3 straight finals and won back-to-back NBA championships without a top 75 player. That deserves credit. But people have been trying to discredit his chips because they're making it seem like, well, Kobe wouldn't have won without Pau. You got to put the right pieces around him. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you make a championship team. Your best player will always be your driving force, but you have to have a system and you have to have teammates that are able to help you win a championship. There's a reason it's a team accomplishment, right? But your team accomplishment combined with your individual accolades is what makes you great. That's how you judge players. The problem is with people when they make arguments, they just make casual takes, kind of like what people on these networks do to brainwash you. But if you really analyze a game, you understand how to put players in their proper perspective. And I know how to analyze players. But let me go into the comment section before I let you speak again, Zeddy. Once again, I want to say thank you for being for being a guest on the show, no doubt. Welcome. Jay says, Earl, that's the only way LeBron can play. A team that is broken without him. LeBron can't play off ball. That's been his biggest weakness his entire career, because what people forget is, even in Miami, Dwayne Wade was the one that told LeBron, I'll play off the ball for your benefit, because in LeBron's first year, They tried that, and he was unsuccessful playing off the ball. Unsuccessful. Right. In his first year with the Lakers, he tried playing off the ball, was unsuccessful. That's why he has been hanging on to that LeBron system for as long as he has. LeBron can't play off ball. Stands around, spot up guys don't last. Work without a LeBron type. Broke Miami and Cleveland too. Westbrook chose his path after he became a Laker. That's why I said that I blame Westbrook for that. Should have never took that phone call from LeBron. That goes for Carmelo Anthony too, because is Carmelo Anthony in the NBA now? And Carmelo Anthony has wanted to be signed by a team, but he hasn't been signed. And people feel like he's gotten blackballed. And I'm like, I'm surprised LeBron didn't push the front office to sign Carmelo. Carmelo was actually one of the more efficient three-point shooters on their team, but he didn't get signed. Eventually, the issue is he became a Laker. He had issues with Vogel, and the issue is this is what I said about Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook didn't take accountability for most of that season. I don't agree with the vampire comments. I don't agree with the name. The only issue I have with the Westbrook thing was that he's been called that for years. The fact that he waited so long to complain about that is where I honestly look Russ sideways. I'm like, you've been called that for years. All of a sudden it bothers you? Because you said it doesn't bother you, but it bothers you because you said you got kids. The vampire part I understand, because that's taking it way personal, especially with the fact that La Dracula is the biggest vampire in the room, but they're not going to address that. Chris West says LeBron is desperate to be loved by everybody, so he and his PR team stop at no lengths to always portray him like some kind of god. We, the fans, well, here's the problem. We is a very tricky word because you have to kind of separate and categorize what type of fans, because some people like to say we, and then other people are going to go speak for yourself, because I don't think that way. That's why I'm always kind of cringe when people say the word we. Yeah. Depends on how you use it. You got to be able to know how to use we the right way. Plastic to the core. Earl says Kobe was one of them. Right. Andrew Bynum disappeared in the playoffs. That's another thing people don't talk about. Offensively, Bynum was really never good in the playoffs. He was good defensively when he was able to help Powell neutralize Dwight Howard because of the size. And but to be honest with you, offensively, Andrew Bynum disappeared in a lot of games. That's the stuff people don't talk about. Because Andrew Bynum's numbers, they were great, but this was kind of after when Phil Jackson was no longer head coach. Things were a little bit different with Mike Brown. Bynum has an all-star season, his only of his career. Earl says, you think so, Jay? I didn't get that from Bynum, man. He balled out to me. Or was that Jay that made that comment? Not sure. Chris West says Westbrook has two possible destinations, Clippers or the Bulls, and even the Heat is interested in him too. Before I get to the Russ, situation in terms of where he possibly might sign, let me make this very clear. The Lakers are in the shambles that they're in because of Jay Reed, the kid from Akron, as he loves to say in every post, whether it's Twitter or Instagram or Facebook if he still uses it. Russell Westbrook didn't hold himself accountable all year and was playing to narratives all season. You guys saw me when I made the videos, and I said, I can't believe this, some of the stuff that this guy was saying. I couldn't believe it. I said, you're not going to hold yourself accountable for anything. Nothing. I said, I've seen Russell snap at reporters when they ask simple questions. I remember that time that he shut that reporter down when he was asking Steven Adams in terms of why that the Thunder struggled when Russ was not on the floor. And Russ, like the narcissist that he is, shut that reporter down crazy fast. And the reporter even got heated at him. He was like, why can't I ask a question? Because he was asking Steven Adams. Steven Adams tried to answer that. Russ didn't even let Steven Adams answer it. That's the problem. That's the problem when you want things to go your way and you want to be in control. Russ got humbled last year, and he got humbled this year. And Zeddy, let me ask you a question. Do you think it's very possible that Westbrook would call out LeBron James and the Laker organization in terms of how that locker room was? Because quite honestly, Russ, to me, could possibly say it, but he'll probably say it in an indirect, subliminal way without really mentioning names. What do you think?
Actually, I don't think he'll call LeBron in that locker room out directly, but like he said, he might, have some subliminal or cryptic message or whatever. But like I don't think he'll go into too much detail because like I know like he's had some issues with like other teammates like KD and Paul George but I don't think off the court I don't think he's that type of well I don't know, but from my assessment watching him afar I don't think I don't think he's that type of dude actually. Like I think he'll have enough class not to keep everything confidential. But that's just my opinion.
No, I'm totally fine with that. There's a possibility that Russ could probably do that too, just to try to not get into that stuff.
Wait,
Another problem that I have with LeBron's agenda is you disrespected your teammates with your crying of Kyrie Irving.
right.
But LeBron, wasn't you the one that threw Kyrie under the bus with the anti-Semitic tweet? But you got the nerve because the media was pushing for Kyrie to go to Los Angeles for the last 2 or 3 years. And you say out of your mouth, as I mentioned earlier, you go to Michael Wilbon, who you haven't had a great relationship with these last couple of years. And I'm shocked that you did an interview with him.
Wait. But before you go, I'm sorry to interrupt again, bro.
Fine.
You said he had issues with Wilbon?
Michael Wilbon, yeah. He hadn't been doing interviews with him for a long time. And I don't know, there was some kind of riff. I think Wilbon criticized him on something. I don't remember what it was. I'm going to have to look it up. But it was after that instance, LeBron stopped talking to him for a couple of years. And I was like, maybe they meant defenses that they were able to do the interview, or maybe they got something worked out within LeBron's PR team or something. I don't know. But they had not been speaking for a while.
I didn't.
Why do you think LeBron doesn't speak to Stephen A? Stephen A has called him out multiple times, and LeBron still won't give him an interview.
Yeah.
Still. So even though Stephen A has tried to get in his good graces, Mr. Flip-Flopper, Stephen A. Snitch, he's tried to get in his good graces and always, LeBron is a Mount Rushmore player. I got him at number 2. And look, so yeah, going back to Kyrie Irving, and I was hearing reports that now possibly Kyrie Irving possibly might not join the Lakers. And I said, honestly, it's really going to depend on how well Kyrie and Luka mesh. So we'll see how that works. But my thing is, you already threw Kyrie under the bus earlier this season. But you want to praise Kyrie and then use his name on ESPN. Isn't that tampering, LeBron? That you're crying that the Lakers didn't get Kyrie Irving? That's kind of tampering. And not only that, what kind of message you sent to AD and Russ? You're basically saying that I don't think they're championship material compared to you because I won a chip with you since we beat Golden State.
Right.
And this is despite the fact that you won a championship with Anthony Davis, the player that you colluded to get out of New Orleans. And this is why I got to get on Anthony Davis too, because Anthony Davis, wasn't it you the one that put on that Looney Tunes shirt talking about, that's all, folks. That's all, folks. You quit on the Pelicans to go join Jay Reed. You win a championship in the bubble. And this is what LeBron says after the Lakers haven't won a championship after 2 years after they won, even though they made changes. I felt to me that 2021 was the season that really broke the camel's back for the Lakers because they got off to a great start that year, despite the fact that they had to make a quick turnaround. AD misses 36 games. LeBron James misses 26 with a high ankle sprain. Then AD goes down with the groin injury in the playoffs against the Suns. And I thought that they were going to beat Phoenix if they were fully healthy because I felt like Phoenix they were frauds. I'm going to be honest. Even if they won 51 games, people are talking about Chris Paul, but I don't think Chris Paul is impactful in that series as people claim just because they didn't have an answer for Anthony Davis. And I said, do you think they're going to have an answer for LeBron if they don't got an answer for AD? So I didn't think so. That's just me. But they got eliminated. And then last year, they had one of the worst, from the eye test, one of the worst Lakers seasons that I've ever seen. The Lakers were even more competitive even when they lost less games before LeBron and AD came over here. Like that's just how bad it was. Anyway, you did all that. You did all that to try to see if you could get Kyrie Irving, and you cried.
Yeah.
How about the fact, and real quick, I want to say this. How about the fact that after the game against Boston, where you didn't get that call, right?
Oh, man.
You decided to protest and not play on Monday as your way to complain about the league that you robbed us of winning that game. First of all, it robbed you of an opportunity to win that game, but you still had overtime.
Overtime, you had 4 minutes left.
And you still found a way to lose that basketball game. And then you protested by not playing the next game. Really? Especially when you had a day off. It wasn't like you were playing it back-to-back. You had a day off. That's what really kills me. Let me see. In the comment section, Russ would like Miami or Chicago better. Paul George wants a fall guy because he's tired of being the fall guy. That's why I don't want Russ with the Clippers, because then Paul George will blame Russell Westbrook indirectly. He did it to him in OKC. Paul George is full of crap too. I'm sick and tired of Paul George. If the Clippers can, they need to trade Paul George. I'm sick of his mentality. I'm just straight up sick. That dude is so inconsistent in the playoffs, and he's always looking for an excuse too. He's full of it. Let me see. Shannon Sharp has changed his tune, and Westbrook narratives now praises him. Oh, no, he still criticizes him. Don't get it twisted. Shannon hasn't changed about Westbrook. Well, Skip still sticks to his very tired, dull, boring Ant Westbrook stance despite the dramatic improvement of Russ's form. Skip has called Russ Westbrook for years, and Skip isn't going to change. So Skip stands on what he does. Like I said, Shannon stands with Westbrook because it's crazy how he gave Kevin Durant praise after he saw what Westbrook was doing with LeBron. Trust me, Russ was doing that on another team. He wouldn't have said that about Westbrook like that compared to what he did with LeBron. It's only because of LeBron and who they're playing for that he said that. Right. Jay says Russ's form. If his form was improved, then Russ would be back to using his patented left side elbow extended jumper. I told you at one time Russ had one of the best pull-up jumpers in the league in transition. One of the best. He actually shot nearly 50% from elbow jump shots, especially in transition at one point. Russ, his free throw shooting has digressed so much. This guy was an 80% free throw shooter for his career. Like, he was up in the high 80s. This dude is shooting below 70 now. That's how much Russ has regressed as a free throw shooter, which also tells you that his shooting has gotten even worse. That lets you know right there. But if people can't see that, that's a problem. So it's not just his poor play. It's not just his poor play. It's the fact that his game has regressed so damn much.
Right.
It really has. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, what was I finna say? Oh, yeah. I actually have some, there's a lot of, interesting, like, info I found out yesterday, actually, about LeBron. There's a lot of things, people don't know. Like, obviously, some people know, like, LeBron is, a hypocrite, but I want to explain it from a different angle, because, like, I actually talked to someone who's from the Cleveland area.
From Akron?
Not from Akron, but
from Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah, from Cleveland. A diehard Cleveland Cavaliers fan. Like, he grew up watching LeBron. You watched LeBron grow up, basically. And what was conveyed to me is that, that first stint in Cleveland, they said not only was the team not good enough to win a championship, they said LeBron himself wasn't good enough to win a championship because of, his mindset. They said he was young and immature. They said he didn't respect, Mike Brown as a coach because they said during film studies or film sessions or whatever, like instead of paying attention, he was throwing like paper and like making spitballs and everything. And at first, like I was kind of
Really?
like, yeah, for real.
This almost makes it seem like if he was in the locker rooms or something, like for him to even say that, like it almost
Well,
even seemed like,
but he knew people, close to the
oh, is it
Cle-
the Cavalier organization?
yeah,
Okay,
close to the organization. So like this is a secondhand account, but like from what I was told, like he didn't sound like he was capping at all, bro.
okay.
Because and then
Don't tell that. Don't tell that to the fanboys. With their
this
dogs,
this
they're
so
gonna say, "Oh, straight cap. He don't know nothing." Anyway,
no, bro. And he's like he said he was the biggest LeBron fan, but like he's like stuff like that is like why he's not considered the GOAT or up there with the Jordans or the Kobe's or the Magics or
right.
the true killers of the game. And then he said like him going to Miami was also a big mistake because he said like he said he understood why he left. Like I think most people do, but he said like he could have gone to the Spurs or any other team to get quality coaching where he'd actually be held accountable. But
Hmm.
like, he decided to go to the Spurs. Not the Spurs, the Heat. I mean, my
Yeah.
bad. And then they obviously like he didn't really have respect for Spoelstra or whatever. And Pat Riley said, and he tried to get Spoelstra fired that first year.
Yeah.
And Pat Riley wasn't having it. And he's like, you're gonna conform to the system, even though he still got his stats or whatever. And like the offense was still running through him, but like he played elite defense those years, and he actually sacrificed somewhat. Like to be fair, but then like this when he went back to Cleveland, he also told me like when Kyrie came back, like he really didn't want LeBron there because like he's been there for like 3 or 4 years up to this point, and then he's like, oh, LeBron's coming back, and then like he didn't say Kyrie felt threatened, but he said LeBron didn't really see Kyrie as a grown adult. Like he saw him as like one of his like a little kid basically, and he tried to quote unquote son Kyrie, and uh he didn't really have respect for him, and
Hmm.
Kyrie felt some type of way about it. And I'm like, this is coming from a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, mind you.
Hmm.
So I'm hearing all these stories, and I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds kind of similar to a few stories I heard, but like I didn't know how true it was or not. But like, bro, like you said, like when LeBron retires, everything's gonna come out, bro. Like no stories, and possibly even worse behavior is gonna come out. So like, can you touch on that? Because like I was shocked just listening to it, to be honest.
Yeah. Real quick, Hakeem J says, just got off of work. What's up, you guys? What's going on, Hakeem? What's up, guys? Continue to hit the like button. Make sure to hit that like button. He says, how are they gonna boo LeBron at the Super Bowl though? You know, I was a little surprised that he did get booed, to be honest with you. The thing is, I don't have an issue with LeBron going to the game. I don't have an issue with LeBron being with his wife and just enjoying the game. That's really not the problem. The problem is that people are looking at it as that he's taking a vacation, knowing the fact that they have to fight for their playoff lives. And I just
Right,
think that the idea of fighting hard and clawing your way back up, like LeBron needs to understand that if you look at the standings, the West is pretty tight when it comes to the fact that they can actually leapfrog teams if they're able to get healthy and LeBron is able to work together with the team. They can actually leapfrog some teams and be a playoff team to avoid playing the play-in because they're not that far off from some of these seeds, especially with the fact that the West has some injuries to some of these teams. and some of these teams really haven't played up to their capabilities because they've been inconsistent. What have we said about the West and the Eastern Conference? The West is the more wide open style. The Eastern Conference is really more of the defensive teams are really more in the Eastern Conference. But now with this shakeup, things kind of change a little bit, especially with Kyrie and KD coming to West. But getting back to getting booed at the Super Bowl, I thought that the sound to me got drained out because I really couldn't hear the boos, especially in every YouTube video that I was watching. Like, I didn't really hear the boos, but the one clue that I saw that made me realize that Bron was getting booed was all you had to do was look at Savannah James, because I saw her facial expression when he got introduced and Bron was fixing his crown, like his fake crown, like, yeah, you got to crown me because I'm the king. You know, typical LeBron, typical of narcissism, of course. And the way she looked at him and then just her eyes, the way her eyes just kind of bulged and kind of popped a little bit. And I was like, oh, wait. I was like, why Savannah giving him that look like that? And then it just made me think. I was like, wait. I was like, are they kind of draining out the sound so that you couldn't hear the boos? And that's all I kept seeing in the videos. Like, the sound was all the same. And I said, it's almost like if they were covering so that you didn't have to hear the boos that he was getting. I was like, damn. She looked at him like, damn, they really must hate you. Like, they really hate you out here. And when I saw her facial expression, I was like, oh, okay, he really did get booed. I was like, they just kind of tried to ground out the sound, but he did get booed.
Right.
So going back to what you were saying in terms of answering your question, in terms of how, like, how's he going to be perceived and everything's going to come out. The reason that I'm saying this now is you hear Pat Bev talk about the toxic environment. Like, this isn't the first time that we've heard about toxic environment. If you look at LeBron's last year in Cleveland, the issues with Isaiah Thomas and Kevin Love, that he said that they don't practice. I mean, Frank Vogel came out and said that they don't practice. Darvin Scam came out and said that the Lakers don't practice. Wait, that's a player says they don't practice. A coach that you won a championship with says you don't practice all of last year. And this year's coach says that you really don't practice. So basically what you're saying is that's a pattern. You're hearing the same thing from 3 different people, that you don't practice. LeBron practices individually, but he doesn't practice with the team. So they're really not getting any type of scrimmages or practices, which just leads me to believe that this is part of the reason why there's no chemistry. It's not just the injuries, but you don't practice. You don't have a real system. LeBron is still holding on to his system. And I said that if you lose again and not get into the play-in, or you fail and miss or you fail in the playoffs, how good is that system if you can't really play team ball and win championships? Because you got to really involve your team in order to win your championship. Because that LeBron system, if LeBron has the advantage in every playoff series, then his system can work. But against teams that are near full strength or at full strength, and they actually play team basketball and they actually play a system that can nullify an isolated system where you dominate the ball, you're predictable. It's almost like if you're a one-trick pony, even though you're doing different things within that same system, it makes you give off the illusion that you're a one-trick pony, because now it's, I know what you're going to do. So let me just make sure that I take away the things that you like to do, because you can't go to nothing else. That's the point. If you can't go to something else, you're done. That's it.
Right.
It's over. Now, getting back to you were saying, you were talking about, are things going to come out, by the time that LeBron retires? See, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, this is why LeBron is still playing. Think about it. He doesn't get the love that Jordan and Kobe have, that he wants and he's craving so much for. Jordan and Kobe, they had ideas of what they wanted to do after basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Jordan. He owns the NBA, even though he's part of the NBA or whatever. But Jordan was doing other things. He has a Black 500 Fortune company. You look at Kobe Bryant, which to me, this is a part of the reason why I feel like Kobe's no longer here, because Kobe, he was trying to end world hunger. He was trying to end world hunger in California. Kobe Bryant had opened up stock at the New York Stock Exchange. So Kobe made investments, financial investments in money. Kobe opened up his Mamba Academy, helping out the other players in the NBA. Look what Kawhi Leonard and Jason Tatum have gotten as NBA players. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, who also went to there. Kyrie Irving was there for a little bit. Look at the fact that he was coaching his daughter's basketball team, and she got him into basketball when he was actually at peace with not even thinking about basketball anymore and just enjoying life. Think about the fact that Kobe was even considering starting his own muscle protein company or something like that. That came to
Body Armor.
Body Armor. Okay, so he was doing that. So Kobe was doing a lot of things. And Kobe was starting to rise up because remember, Kobe is a part of Nike, but he was trying to go above that. Kobe was trying to start his own shoe line. And what happened? It was so funny that when Kobe mentioned about opening his own shoe line, especially because, again, Kobe is a very intelligent man. That's the thing that people don't want to understand. Yeah, you can hate his personality, but Kobe is a very intelligent man. He was trying to start his own shoe company. He was starting to start his own shoe line. You could probably wonder what Kobe probably could have done and how many people would have bought his shoes. I'm pretty sure there was put up in a good amount of people.
Yeah.
And the thing that people forget about Kobe is, ask yourself this question. Kobe's never played in high tops his entire career. It's always been low to mid shoes. If you look at LeBron has played in some high tops. He's got quite a few high top shoes, and his shoes are very big and bulky too. But I've said this for quite a while. No disrespect or no hate to Bron, but I said this before. This is part of the reason that he's still playing. And I think it's out of fear. It's out of fear of he doesn't really have a plan when he retires, even though he said about owning an NBA team. But quite honestly, after LeBron's whining and complaining, I don't even think the NBA is kind of even going to let him go on that route, because how can a player, and this is the only player in NBA history that I know that has an agency linked with the NBA. This is the same Rich Paul, ladies and gentlemen, who's LeBron's close friend, complained to the NBA about Luke Walton. And I am no Luke Walton fan by any stretch of the means, but he complained to Adam Silver about Luke Walton getting fired. When does Rich Paul have that kind of power? You're an agent. Like, what? What kind of sense does that make? And this is another reason why people are tired too. Think about it. At one point, Bron had 7 players on the Laker roster that were part of Clutch Sports. And that's not even including the head coach. Did you guys also know that he offered Mark Jackson a spot to be in Clutch Sports? No, I think Mark Jackson is part of Clutch Sports. I think he is. Which LeBron wanted Mark Jackson. Speaking of coaches, that brings me to another point. And I had to, take notes on this. Check this out. LeBron's head coaches in his career. Paul Silas. He was his head coach for 2 years. Mike Brown, head coach for 4 years, 2006 to 2010. Before I continue, Jay says high tops kill your knees, low tops help your knees, but you need strong ankles, which is why you got to work on your ankles, especially like working on your lower part of your body. Mid tops are a lot better than high tops. Oh, I like using mid top. Actually, if there's one shoe I prefer, it would always be mids. I would always prefer mid tops to play in. If you're gonna go low, like I said, you gotta really work on your feet and really train your ankles though. But sometimes you're not fortunate in terms of what type of injury you can suffer and how you land. That's just the way that it just happens sometimes. Okay, LeBron's head coaches: Paul Silas, Mike Brown, Eric Spoelstra, David Blatt, Ty Lue, Luke Walton, Frank Vogel, Darvin Ham. Total of 8 coaches, ladies and gentlemen. Now, according to the LeBron fanboy fan base, why do they always keep sticking LeBron with rookie head coaches? Paul Silas has a ton of coaching experience. How can he be a rookie head coach? What? He coached the Charlotte Hornets / New Orleans Hornets. I'm trying to remember what other team he coached, but I know he coached another team. I don't remember what. But Paul Silas had many years being a head coach. And I guess you guys have tried to twist the narrative as he was a rookie head coach for LeBron. Like, no, Paul Silas had coaching experience in his career. Paul Silas was a good head coach, really good head coach. And once again, God rest his soul to Paul Silas, the great Paul Silas. Now we go to Mike Brown. Now, this is a different story because Mike Brown was a rookie head coach under LeBron James his first year. But like you were mentioning, Zeddy, he really didn't show respect from what that person you said that you spoke to from Cleveland had mentioned about how LeBron would be in session rooms, in film sessions, talking about making spitballs, which shows that LeBron does his attention to detail, shows that he didn't really have that much respect for Mike Brown if he wasn't looking at that. But anyway, he was able to win 2 MVPs. Mike Brown was able to win Coach of the Year in 2009. LeBron took this quote-unquote rookie head coach to the finals. That's funny because Mike Brown went to the NBA Finals in his second year as head coach, not his first, so he's not a rookie. Okay, I trumped that, LeBron fans. Now we go to Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra, they put LeBron with a rookie head coach. Eric Spoelstra had been coaching Dwayne Wade for 2 years. So when you came in, LeBron, he may have been a rookie head coach for you because it was the first time he got to coach you, but this was Eric Spoelstra's 3rd season as a head coach. So he already had a little bit of coaching experience. But let me guess, you took that rookie head coach to the NBA Finals. No. He was the video man. He was the video coordinator for the Miami Heat when they won the championship in 2006. So Eric Spoelstra really paid his dues. But my point is, Eric Spoelstra was not some rookie head coach you led to the NBA championship. That's a bunch of nonsense. Even though you went to the finals 4 straight years and you won 2 titles and you were a 2-time finals MVP, 2 regular season MVP. You know what's so crazy? People complain about the MVP so much, but LeBron won 4 MVPs in a 5-year stretch. It's like people forget that too. David Blatt. Check this out. He coached the team for about a season and a half. David Blatt was trying to implement a system because David Blatt was actually coaching out internationally in Europe. But was trying to establish a real offense, was trying to establish a culture and a system, and LeBron wanted no part of that. So he got David Blatt fired despite the Cavaliers having the best record in the Eastern Conference in 2016, right? Even though Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love were injured, as the LeBron fans love to mention, and I've been on record as saying that the 2015 and 26 championships, they canceled each other out because both teams dealt with injury. Yeah. It's neither here or there. But David Blatt gets fired because of the system he's trying to implement. LeBron didn't like his coaching style, felt like they were playing too slow according to him, which is so funny because LeBron James is playing slow right now. And he's been in the top 5 in slowest paces as an NBA player in the NBA. But I digress. Let's continue. So LeBron is really cool with Ty Lue. He gets his wish from the front office. They get LeBron's really good friend, Ty Lue, who coached him for about 3 seasons. They win an NBA championship. Ty Lue was a rookie head coach that LeBron took to the finals. Yeah, you could say that. And then you could also say David Blatt took a rookie head coach to the finals, right? Yeah, that's fine. They went to the finals together all 4 years in the entire tenure there, but they only came out with one championship. I consider that an accomplishment / failure. Luke Walton, rookie head coach. LeBron never really respected Luke Walton at all. Luke Walton is not a great coach. He got the job because of what he was doing with Golden State with those 43 games. Let's be real. That's why a lot of people were like, anybody could coach that team. But Luke Walton, first-year head coach, failed to make the playoffs. That's the year that you said you activated playoff mode. I remember. That's right. You lost to the worst teams in the league that were tanking. But I'm supposed to take you seriously. And then, all of a sudden, Brandon Ingram gets hurt. They had season-ending injuries with Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball didn't come back, and I know why he didn't come back that year. It's because he didn't want to get traded. Lonzo Ball can't fool me. Okay. Now you get Frank Vogel. I'm guessing he's a first-year head coach. Wait. He's not a first-year head coach. LeBron, you went up against Frank Vogel when Paul George was an Indiana Pacer. Wait, guess who was the head coach? Frank Vogel. And guess what? Frank Vogel went to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years in a row going up against you, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. And who was his best player? A young Paul George. So Frank Vogel can't be no rookie head coach that you took to the NBA Finals. Yeah, you went to the finals in your first year, but let's face it, you got the biggest break in NBA history. I don't want to hear nothing. That was a stimulus package in its own right. Anyway, 3 years together, one championship, a first-round exit, and failed to make the play-in. Wow. Oh, and let's not also forget scapegoat for how they performed last year. And now you have Darvin Scam, who is in his first year as head coach and is a rookie head coach because he had been an assistant for many years, but he is a rookie head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's see. How many first-year coaches did LeBron take to the finals? 1, 2. Oh, that's funny. According to LeBron fans, he takes rookie head coaches to the NBA Finals. But there were only 2 rookie head coaches that he took to the finals. That would be David Blatt, and that would be Ty Lue. See, Mike Brown went with LeBron, but that was in year 2, not year 1. So Mike Brown was not a rookie. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call doing your research. And this is exactly what I did. LeBron has only taken 2 rookie head coaches to the finals. According to LeBron fans, every coach that's coached LeBron were rookie head coaches. Oh, you mean rookie head coaches coaching him? That's what you're kind of saying. See, I don't understand because now everything changes when it comes to you guys. The narrative flips. But I just laid out the evidence that LeBron's only had 2 rookie head coaches, his good friend Ty Lue and David Blatt. That's it. All the other coaches have had prior coaching experience, with the exception of Darvin Ham. That we don't know what their season is going to be at the end of this year. So we don't know what the result is going to be. But you've only taken 2 rookie head coaches. So you have 8 coaches, and LeBron has only taken 25% of those coaches to the finals. Wow. You would think, ladies and gentlemen, that LeBron took 100% of these coaches to the finals with the way they talk about him in terms of what he could do with rookie head coaches. Let me expose something else real quick, and I want you to listen to this, Eddie, because this is important. I remember when LeBron was a free agent in 2018. He could have chose to go to San Antonio. As a matter of fact, the San Antonio Spurs were interested in LeBron James. LeBron James turned them down. You know why? Because that means he wouldn't have gotten to play his LeBron system anymore. And on top of that, since he was with Greg Popovich would have put him in his place. On top of that, guess what? He wouldn't have gotten the credit because they would have said he's playing in a system now. And it's amazing to me that oh, LeBron, he never had a Hall of Fame coach like Phil Jackson.
But we could have. He's been a free agent. Let's see, 2010, 2018, 2010. No, 2010, 2014, and 2018. So it's 3 times he's been a free agent. He could have gone anywhere. He could have gone to the Spurs. He could have gone to, well, the dude from Cleveland. He told me instead of going to Miami, he should have went to Chicago because who was their coaches of Chicago at the time? What's his
Tom
name?
Thibodeau.
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau. I know you're not his biggest fan, but that Cleveland native, like he just considered him a good coach that would have held LeBron accountable, and got him right on the defensive end. But like, if it wasn't Chicago, then it would have been San Antonio. But I don't think, like, even if he went to San Antonio, they realized like he's not gonna be the same LeBron he was like in Miami and Cleveland. Because you're actually playing in a system under Greg Popovich, and you're gonna have to sacrifice your individual numbers for the betterment of the team.
And that's the problem right there, what you just mentioned, because that is exactly what I wanted to get at. LeBron James, it would have took him a little longer to chase Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had he went to the Spurs and actually played in the system. If people remember, if you actually look at LeBron's numbers, his assists are actually down, and they're actually in their lowest when he's playing with the Miami Heat compared to playing with the Lakers and playing with the Cavaliers. His numbers, his assist numbers are actually below. I think he only had one season where he averaged 7 assists. The other years, he averaged either 5 or close to 6.
Right.
So his assists were not up there. It was when he played with Cleveland and LA to where his assist numbers are much bigger than what they are in Miami. And that's only with the exception of LeBron's rookie year where he only averaged 5 assists. But my point is, guys, if LeBron wanted to win championships, he would have evolved his game. And not only evolve his game, he would have allowed the coach to coach him. He wouldn't be trying to spew any narratives. He would be able to play within a system, and he would care about winning. The thing is, LeBron thinks he's a winner by just putting up his statistics.
No, it don't work like that.
He thinks he's won. And he could have went to San Antonio. So this whole thing of, oh, LeBron doesn't have a Hall of Fame coach, he blew the opportunity. He knew that all those privileges and credit that he was going to get, it was going to be tied to the Spurs and Greg Popovich. That's why he didn't want to go there. It's amazing how people can't see that. He knew that they're going to be like, well, that system was able to help LeBron produce championships. Greg Popovich, it's the same thing. Going to the Golden State Warriors. That to me wouldn't have worked out neither because he has to play as LeBron. He may have the shooters, but Curry and Klay Thompson are not just standstill shooters. They can do more than that. They can do more than that, especially their ability of the plays that they run off the ball, which doesn't get enough credit. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the whole point. He had his opportunity to go to San Antonio, and he turned it down because he knew what the circumstances were if he were to do that. The narrative would have changed, and all that attention that LeBron was getting, some of that attention would have went to other people, and rightfully so. But this thing with Phil Jackson, talk about how, Jordan had a Hall of Fame coach. Phil was not a Hall of Famer when he coached Michael Jordan. He was a Hall of Famer when he coached Kobe Bryant, but not Michael Jordan.
I'm glad you said that, Louis, because the thing with MJ and Phil Jackson, like I'm never gonna discredit Phil Jackson because he's one of the best coaches ever, obviously. But like you said, and like I think he came over to the Bulls in 1991, not 1991, 1989, or it was either.
Yep, you got it. It was 89. Well,
Okay.
he spent so he
But
came in 80, he came in 87 as an assistant coach for 2 years, but
yeah,
he became the
but
head coach in 89. You're right.
because Doug Collins was coaching Mike at first,
Yeah.
and under Doug Collins' system, MJ was averaging 31, 8 and 8, damn near a triple double. But and yeah, they were getting to the conference finals and everything, but like it wasn't resulting in getting to the championship. It wasn't until like Phil Jackson became the head coach and he's like, okay, Mike, I want you to limit your scoring down. Like you can still score, but like I want you to get your teammates involved and actually sacrifice. You'll get your numbers, but like get it in the flow of the offense, which is where the triangle came in, and they won their first championship in '91, and it just goes to show you when you listen to the coach, like you'll have more success. And I don't think LeBron, like his fanboys, could say all they want. He's not coachable at all, bro.
I've been saying that for a while. It's like, again, this isn't nothing personal, no disrespect. It's just from what I've seen in LeBron's career. He's not as coachable as people make it seem he is. The thing is, with the reason with Miami, they had the culture and they had the structure
And he was
to put him down. You had Pat Riley and you had Dwayne Wade. His best friend is able to listen to him. His best friend is able to listen to him. And he's able to hear him out, and he's also able to give him advice, give him pointers. On top of that, you have Pat Riley, the Dom, Pat Riley, as I always call him. He wasn't going to be able to do anything because, again, Pat Riley is an alpha. He wasn't going to be able to step up to the alpha in the room. That alpha told that alpha, you can kick rocks if you don't want to stay, which is what LeBron did. He left because he saw Kyrie Irving. That's the only reason he left. Jay says Tex winner is why Phil Jackson got the Bulls job after Doc Collins. Tex turned it down and pushed for Phil to be head coach. The reason he pushed for Phil to be head coach was because he knew Phil would integrate the triangle offense. Doug Collins didn't like the triangle offense because he felt it was too complicated. And Doug is somebody who loves to put everything in the hands of one player. Doug was really immature as a head coach. He was immature. It's amazing how far the Bulls got with the teams that they had in those early to late 80s, especially in the mid to late 80s. But they were on the rise and they were coming up. But for me, I said that Greg Popovich and Pat Riley, for me, are to me, in my opinion, greater coaches than Phil because they've been able to do more with less. And quite honestly, if you look at Phil's coaching career, who are the star players that he coached throughout his career? Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and Scottie Pippen. He didn't coach any other team but those two teams, the Bulls and the Lakers.
and
Yeah, he
Dennis.
won championships, but go ahead, what are you saying?
Oh, and I said he coached Dennis Rodman too.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying primarily I'm saying for all six and for all five, because Rodman was only there for 3.
Oh, 3.
But also Shaq was only there for history because Kobe was there for all 5.
Yeah.
As Jordan and Pippen were there for all 6. But Phil Jackson won a championship in Puerto Rico, but that was the only thing that he did prior to becoming an assistant coach. Phil Jackson didn't win until his second season. He didn't win in his first year. Another thing, Scottie Pippen, which I get so sick and tired of the 1-9. Scottie was never really that impactful of a player to be able to change things around. This guy was coming off the bench his first 2 seasons. He didn't start until his 3rd year. And they didn't win the championship until their 4th season, which means Scottie Pippen had to develop to become the player that he became. And so the offense is really designed by Tex Winter and Sam Barry, who he was the originator of the triangle offense, but it was under a different name. It's just that Tex Winter decided to call it the triangle. But my point is the triangle produce 11 championships because at the centerpiece, you had a dominant center in Shaquille and you had a dominant guard in Michael Jordan. The only difference was that Shaq played with a dominant guard in Kobe. That's it. That was the big difference. Yo, shout out to Sly in the building. What's up? Guys, hit the like. But this whole thing, Hall of Fame coaches. No, Kobe and Shaq got Hall of Fame Phil. Jordan and Pippen did not. He became a Hall of Famer, winning six championships alongside Jordan and Pippen. But by the time he got with Kobe and Shaq, he already had the championship experience. Shaq did, Kobe didn't. Shaq went to the finals, but my thing is, Shaq ended up getting swept, and Shaq didn't make the finals for another 4 years.
Yeah.
But when Phil Jackson and Tex Winter implemented that triangle offense, that was when Shaq was able to do his thing. And then win MVP, and then win the finals MVP and cap off a historic season. LeBron's had his opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. He just chooses not to want to be coached. You can see it on the floor. You can see it on his body language, all that. So my question to you, Zeddy, is where do you think Westbrook goes? What team should use him? And do you think that Anthony Davis might be requesting a trade like by the end of the season? Because I saw an article on fadeawayworld.net that Russell Westbrook possibly might be a fit for Chicago, and that if things work itself out, that Anthony Davis might be leaving the Lakers. Well, he can't leave because he still has 3 years on his contract, but try to force a trade to Chicago. Because quite honestly, before, Anthony Davis was always pushing Westbrook to the side and just doing what LeBron says and does. But quite honestly, if you look at this season, I see Russ and Anthony really kind of like developed a relationship, and it looked like they had been practicing together because AD was thriving off of Russell Westbrook. But now he's getting rebounds, but he's not really scoring the ball, putting it in the basket. I mean, people forget he was, 5 of 19 against Golden State on Saturday? And that was a game that he should have dominated too because the Warriors have no size. But you went 5 for 19. Let me see. Earl says Kobe came off the bench his first year too. His first 2 years. And Sly says Shaq got swept 6 times, man. He's still a legend. Oh, no. Every great player has his bad moments, but the reason that I have put Shaq on the overrated list is for this reason. Look who Shaq lost to right prior to Phil Jackson coming to the Lakers and Kobe becoming the electrifying star that we knew he was going to be. Shaq misses the playoffs in his first year, but they improved their wins by 12. That's cool. The next year, they get a draft day trade with Penny Hardaway and Chris Webber. Shaq and the Magic end up winning 50 games, but they got swept by the 47-win Indiana Pacers. As a matter of fact, the Pacers had the best record that year in the second half of the year. But they got swept 3-0 at the hands of the Pacers, with their best center being Rick Smiths, with all due respect. Rick Smiths. And then, 1995, they make it to the finals. The Magic have one of the best, that 95 Magic team is one of the best Magic teams to not win a championship. We already know about the Nick Anderson free throws. We know about they getting swept by Hakeem, and Hakeem wins finals MVP, primarily center matchup. Then you got the next year. Magic wins 60 games, rolling, 38 wins at home. They get swept by the Chicago Bulls. That's 2 sweeps in the playoffs for Shaquille O'Neal, for Shaq. The very next year, they trade for Kobe in the draft after he gets drafted by Charlotte. First year as a Laker in the playoffs, you lose in 5 games, you get gentlemen swept by the Utah Jazz. And that was the infamous Kobe airball game in the fourth quarter and overtime. The very next year, you get swept by that same team with an older Stockton and an older Malone. You get swept in the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. And then the very next year in 99, you lose in the second round at the hands of the San Antonio Spurs, the team who you will be battling championships in the next few years to come. So quite honestly, if you and he got and the thing is they got swept by the Spurs and he went up against Tim Duncan and David Robinson. So if we look at the timeline with Shaq, the Pacers had a shooting mid-range jump shooting center in Rick Smiths. But he wasn't really a great player, a great center. He was just a solid, serviceable big man just with a jump shot. Next year, loses to Hakeem. Next year, loses to Jordan. Next year, loses to Shawn Kemp. Loses to Stockton and Malone. Back-to-back years. And then in 99, loses into the hands of Tim Duncan and David Robinson. That's a lot of sweeps and gentleman sweeps before you win your first championship. That's a lot. Let me see. Real quick. Okay, LeBron could have never played for Pat Riley or Billy Cunningham. He has to call the shots. The Rockets were the Shaq stopper. Joel says 7 of Michael's 10 scoring titles came from playing off the ball, a.k.a. the triangle offense. Rick Smith used to give guys that work in his prime, just as Patrick Ewing. I know. People forget that Jazz used to own the Lakers in the 90s, and that was post Magic Johnson, post Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when the Lakers were coming in with a new era. Earl said that pick and roll. He got swept against Ben Gordon's Bulls too. Well, what year was that? Oh, when he was with the Miami Heat. That's right. 2007. No, 2000. Yeah, 2007. Jay says everybody owned Del Harris on the Lakers. He was soft. Emotionally, not the best coach to have. No. And so, this is exactly what I'm talking about, folks. LeBron had his opportunities to be part of a winning organization. He had a chance to learn and really be in a system and learn to play off the ball. But he didn't do that because he knew he would have to, and that it was going to expel some narratives. That's why he did what he did. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to come to a close of the stream. So, I want to thank Zeddy for coming in as a guest, of course. Appreciate you. And so what I mean by the meeting agenda, ladies and gentlemen, it's that the Lakers have a chance to be in the playoffs. The problem is the guy that's injured is just kind of taking a little hiatus because they said that the foot can linger. Well, I heard the same thing about the groin. Remember that the groin can linger? I also remember that LeBron's therapist came out on Instagram and said about that injury that LeBron suffered, he was supposed to be out a lot longer. Let's try to come back sooner, but I said that was kind of used as an excuse. And if you listen to the language, you're like, that doesn't even sound like a doctor. That to me is hilarious. So, in your opinion, who do you think is going to be the new blame guy now that Russ is gone?
I think it's gonna be Darvin Ham, or if AD's still there, probably AD. So it's between those two.
Okay. Okay. Sly says LeBron is using all his PTOs. Yep. And for those who don't know what PTOs is, it's personal time off. D'Lo should have been rerouted at the trade deadline. I agree with that. I don't think he gives them the spacing that they need, but the problem is like I said, he's going to be the third option, and his numbers as a third option are not great at all. He's going to be the scapegoat if he doesn't play well. So it's almost like he's going to have to really work on his shot and really adjust his game to be a standstill shooter but it's already going to hurt him because he's going to be the third option. Yep. Anthony Davis is going to get blamed for sure. The thing is now with Russ gone, LeBron can still quote unquote hide. He's just going to figure out who he can use for his agenda. He's going to figure out who he can use. And I just think that it's just really unfortunate and very sickening to hear. Nothing is your fault, bro. Nothing. Yeah, man, like we messed up. We can come back and we'll do this again. I just think it's very sad. I think it's sometimes you can't even put into words like how this is going, because there's a lot of LeBron fans who are putting up Jordan emoji memes as their profile picture, as if some dudes are really salty about what MJ accomplished, and the answer is no. But LeBron is going to have to get out of Lakerland. He's trying to make you believe that he can get both of his jerseys retired alongside Kobe, which is going back to what I was telling people, guys. He's very insecure. He says he's always looking for a LeBron hater. He said this on the shop, that he's always looking for a LeBron hater. But I said, I thought those guys didn't mean anything to you. That just goes to show you that it does affect Bron. It does affect Bron. For those of you who don't think it doesn't affect him, it does, because he's looking for haters, according to LeBron. But it doesn't bother him. That's why I keep telling myself, you got to make it make sense, ladies and gentlemen. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
Okay, but my question is this. Obviously, breaking the scoring record is a huge accomplishment. And
yeah,
I give him props for, breaking a 30-year record, like, because it should be applauded. But here's my thing. The minute he broke that record, everyone was saying, oh, cry, like they were talking about like MJ and MJ fans, and like, oh, MJ salty, even though like he congratulated, LeBron on breaking the record. And I don't think MJ, like, why do people think MJ is insecure about his legacy? That's my thing. Just because LeBron broke the record, like I never understood that. Because I think MJ is pretty secure with his legacy, in my opinion.
I know that MJ's secure with his legacy because, quite honestly, look what Jordan has done with his impact, and that's what's gotten LeBron to me more upset, which is why I feel like he's taking shots at Jordan over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, on The Athletic, Michael Jordan was voted the greatest athlete?
Yeah.
LeBron is not even in the top 5. Kobe actually got 1% more than LeBron did in terms of being a top 5 athlete. Kobe's 5th and LeBron is 6th on the list. Michael Jordan's shoes are still outselling yours, and Michael Jordan hasn't played in 20 years, LeBron. Jordan was part of the original Dream Team. you have to understand his global impact. Now, and we're not even going to get to the on the court stuff because LeBron is trying to win off the court. And I don't know if you know this, Zeddy, but did you know that earlier, a couple of hours ago, it said that Michael Jordan donated $10 million to the Make-A-Wish Foundation?
Oh, I saw it.
Michael Jordan does not publicize his donations to whatever charities he does,
Yeah, I
whatever
know.
charity he supports, or whatever ones that he is in charge of, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't need to publicize anything.
But people
I
think,
remember. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. But people think since you're not, publicizing it and putting it on social media and saying, "Hey, look at me! I donated this much," or the school or put many kids in colleges that they think you're not doing anything, but it's just simply not the case. Because some people, they want to do it like even Russell Westbrook. Like I don't know if you heard the story about him in the bubble, but like he donated well, not donated, but like uh he provided tips for all the hotel workers or employees. He asked everyone how their day went. He was just a class act, and I think I don't think it needs to be publicized all the time, but like with the Michael Jordan story, he's actually been donating for quite some time, but he just never publicized it. Yes, like Michael Jordan has put his foot in his mouth sometimes, and like he said some stuff I obviously don't agree with. Like Republicans buy sneakers too. I don't agree with that at all, but he has done a lot for the community. He just didn't, talk about it that much. But you could go ahead, like expand on.
Yeah, put it this way. Michael Jordan has been donating to organizations since 1989. It goes back that far. As a matter of fact, I did a video 2 years ago of of the charitable work that Michael Jordan has done with some of the charitable organizations that Michael Jordan has donated to. I did a video on that, and I said that Michael doesn't publicize. I said there's other athletes who don't publicize. Listen, man, Brian Urlacher from the Chicago Bears, Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame football player, Hall of Fame linebacker. He went to the Children's Hospital one time and did not want any press to go. Excuse me. He didn't want any media. He didn't want anybody in the press. He didn't want anybody. He didn't want reporters, excuse me, going to the hospital to see these children. It goes to show you that they care. I don't know how these guys personally feel, but at the very least, there's a little bit of good in them in terms of kids that they're able to care about, that they're able to do that so that they don't want it to be some kind of publicity stunt and looking for attention. Steven Seipert says, if the Nets became the Swamp Dragons like they planned on during the 90s, how would you feel? By the way, this is a true story. I'm not making this up. I'm not sure what he's trying to say with that. Gonna have to elaborate on that in terms of what the Nets are. I mean, the Nets are a dumpster fire of an organization. I already called out KD and Kyrie because they both deserve smoke. Like the fact that people are trying to dismiss it and just say that it's Joe Tsai and Sean Marks are ridiculous. Kyrie, KD, Joe Tsai, and Sean Marks all had a part in why the Brooklyn Nets are dysfunctional. Those are just facts. And the biggest thing is, who would have known that KD and Kyrie were going to do what they did when they first got them over there, right? But to be honest with you, Kyrie and KD have been injury prone, and they didn't really show anything to teams in the NBA, especially to the fan base, that the Barclays Center was going to become home cooking. The Barclays Center was going to become a place that teams feared of playing in. Like, they didn't really do that. It was a super team. It was a super team failure. And quite honestly, KD and Kyrie pushed to get James Harden, and the man quit on the team because of Kyrie. and he ended up a Sixer. And we're not even going to talk about Ben Cinnabons because look where he's at right now. This dude might be out of the league. And I said it so many times. Ben Simmons wants to be a Los Angeles Laker. I know what he's doing. He's a clutch client. I would bet you Ben Simmons will play a lot harder if he was playing alongside LeBron. And then people are going to go, oh, you see, he goes to the Lakers, and look at LeBron. He made Ben Simmons better. He made him play harder. Ben Simmons has been coddled his whole damn career. And now he's getting exposed and he's getting hit hard body. And I've been telling people for the longest, Ben Simmons has never really evolved this game. And you know what's crazy? Just a couple of months ago, I was looking at Ben Simmons Draft Scout for the draft. I forgot the name of the channel on YouTube, but but basically they look at the strengths and weaknesses of NBA prospects that are about to get drafted into the draft. Ben Simmons had a lot of weaknesses in terms of what I saw. In terms of what I saw, it was quite a few weaknesses. One of them being his lack of desire to being great. I said, that's kind of what's happening right now. Another thing is he's very lazy. Oh, that's funny. That's kind of the thing that's happening right now. He's not a good free throw shooter. Oh, that's funny because he's shooting 43% from the free throw line this year. But so you're seeing that right now. Ben Simmons can't really shoot. According to Ben Simmons, he was putting in all this work and they're like, you were going to see a new jump shot. Well, where is it? I don't see it. Like I said, Ben Simmons puts more time and effort and works hard, much more harder on his wardrobe than he does on the basketball court. You're giving me 2 points and 3 rebounds and 8 assists. I don't give a crap about that. Where's the desire to compete? Oh, sorry. You protested for the 76ers because you wanted money. Ben Simmons does not care about your franchise. He would rather be in Hollywood right now than actually be a basketball player competing for championships. He loves that lifestyle. And the fact that this dude had the nerve said, I feel like you guys haven't been patient with me. You need to be more patient. Dude, get the F out of here, bro. Get out of here. And I'm sorry, but Russell Westbrook is going to be out of the – I'm sorry, I said Russell Westbrook. But actually, no, I just thought about that. That may even be possible too, but I still think he'll be picked up by a team. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, Ben Cinnabons is going to be out of the NBA. And the fact that I'm like, I just got to tell Ben Simmons fans and especially his fanboys, what do you got to say now? What do you got to say now? Because he's been getting roasted on YouTube. He's been getting roasted on some of these other channels. What y'all got to say now? Skip Bayless. Oh, yeah, he's a 3-time All-Star, and he's made some defensive teams. And, he had a 42-point game in Utah. Who gives a crap? What is he doing right now? He is damaged goods. And the worst part about it is he really doesn't have trade value. He really doesn't have trade value. I'm sorry, but Ben Simmons, to me, he's done. He's done. And at such a young age, too. But he's done. Earl said 2 rebounds with nothing else to be able to go for it. Bro, Ben has no impact on the game. He never improved and evolved his game. He's a liability in the playoffs. If he would have worked on his jump shot and be more aggressive, Embiid would be getting more single coverages than people realize. But because he doesn't really want to improve his game, he acts scared of big moments. We talk about Anthony Davis ain't it. This dude definitely ain't it. Jay says Nets were smart to not go to the Raptor route. If Brooklyn still had wanted the Swamp Dragons, they would have stayed the Swamp Dragons in Brooklyn. I think I'm starting to understand what you're saying from the last guy who made the comment. Sly says all 30 NBA teams should only pay Simmons the veteran minimum after his contract is up, like $3 million 4 years. Well, he should, but you know that's not how Ben Simmons rolls. And best believe he's going to get his PR team, Clutch Sports, to get involved in terms of how much money he should get in terms of these contract negotiations. But Ben don't deserve no goddamn money. As a matter of fact, they should rip his salary and be like, if you really want to earn this money, how about you work from the ground up, start from the beginning, and actually practice and work on your game. But we know he's not going to do that. And it's sad. You know, it's real sad. He got his money. Would you agree? He got what he wanted. He's set for life. Ben Simmons is set for life. He good. He doesn't have to do nothing else. He good. Ben already made his money. Yeah, he'll be out the league, but he made his money. It's crazy. If they some way force him out of the league, and then next thing you know, you hear breaking news: Ben Simmons is talking with the Lakers and possibly signing with them, and I'm like, yo, that would be captain collusion at its finest if that would have happened. I'm like, so you didn't play hard for any of these other teams, you got coddled, but then you all of a sudden, now that you're free, now you get to make a decision to go play basketball in Hollywood. I was like, dude, you full of it. He'd get even more exposed. No work on his game whatsoever, but you want to put up videos of him hitting 3-point shots and mid-range shots, and yet he's so scared to shoot. That was one of the scouting reports on him. And it started, and what's unfortunate is that, again, these little accolades that he's gotten individually, it's masquerading what this dude has been really mostly for his career. Nothing but a liability. Nothing but a liability. That's it. Backup center will become Ben Simmons' future. Oh, yeah. Because to me, his point guard duties in his career possibly might be done. Sly says sports politics is an MF. They exile Lenny Cook but keep bums like Ben Simmons around. Oops. That's why I said that this is called agenda, because that's what I feel like this is. It's an agenda. At the end of the day, it is an agenda. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the stream. We're definitely going to see what's going on, because also the Lakers play tonight. They are playing the Pelicans. This is the last game before the break, and the Lakers are currently up 8 points. So they should win this game going into the break, because then people will get off of their case. Well, especially they'll get off of LeBron's case, probably mostly. Well, not just LeBron's case. Rob Pelinka, the front office, Anthony Davis. Russ when he was there, but it is what it is. Oh, check this out, guys. The Lakers actually came out like gangbusters, and they had a 13-point lead, but it's now cut down to 8. It's an 8-point game now. I would just laugh if the Lakers blow this lead and they lose the game to the Pelicans, who don't have no Zion and no CJ McCollum tonight. That would be hilarious. Yeah, so right now it is an 8-point game. Let me see who's in the lineup right now. LeBron James, according to Darvin Ham, he's going to lower his minutes. Do you honestly, well, I can honestly start to see it a little bit now because he already broke Kareem's record. But do you think Darvin Ham is going to lower LeBron's minutes?
No, I don't.
I feel like he's still going to use this as a narrative, play these 40-plus minutes, and then they're going to say, well, it's on the coach. Guys.
I mean, LeBron's the coach. I mean, it's been that way almost, well, yeah, his entire career, basically. Because, like I said, like, he doesn't want a real coach. Like, he wants to control the narrative, and, like, it's either his way or the highway. And if what that dude told me was true, now it's starting to make more sense why he has all those losses in the finals. It's not that, the other team was just like so much better. It's like you didn't practice the small habits, so like they show up in the game.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So, well, Sly, I got to answer this, but the thing is, LeBron's playing tonight, and he's only taken 2 shots. He's 1 for 2. It's a 38-30 game right now. I think a timeout was taken by the Pelicans, and I saw that CJ McCollum is playing tonight. So thank you for the update, because I saw the lineups. CJ's in the lineup tonight. So is Brandon Ingram. Excuse me. They need Zion to come back, because Zion would have been good for this matchup against these teams. Even though the Lakers got some size with Mo Bamba in them, but it would have been nice to have. The Nuggets are smashing the Mavs. Yeah, I see that. They're down, 20 points? No, they're down 18 through 3, 92-74. I'm not going to get on Kyrie and Luka Doncic. They've just been together for 3 games. They got to figure that out. This is really kind of all up to Jason Kidd. He's got to figure out how they use those guys together. Luka Doncic has got 34 points. Did Kyrie Irving play tonight? Let's see. Let's see what the answer to that is. Oh, it looks like Kyrie Irving is not in the lineup tonight. Okay. No Kyrie tonight. You see, this is my problem with Luka. Kyrie's not in the lineup. Luka comes back. He dominates the basketball. Kyrie Irving was there. They actually played well. They went 2-0 when Kyrie was actually on the floor. They were actually playing team basketball. And the thing is, also, the tempo is better when Kyrie's on the floor with this Mavericks team, even though they could use some pieces. But with Luka, the ball it slows down. Luka's not really that fast, and Luka dominates the ball. He only gets an assist to get an assist. You know, the funny thing is, and let me close it on this note, people are saying that this isn't going to work, but I just thought about something. Who does Luka pattern his game after? LeBron James. So that means it can work. It's just that he is a less athletic version of LeBron playing in this system. A little more skilled than LeBron playing at this system. But the both of you are right. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it an end to the stream. Want to shout out Zeddy for coming in as a guest. Guys, like I always mentioned, if you guys would like to donate to the channel, you definitely can, but you don't have to. It's not you don't have to donate at all. So it is definitely up to you. But I want to say thank you to everybody, man. I appreciate the support. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for always liking, sharing, and subscribing. And sorry that it looks like that my eyes are like kind of closed, but it's just because of the light, but it's also because the computer has been lagging. So it looks like that my eyes are closed from falling asleep, but I'm wide awake, ladies and gents. But anyway, like I said, Zeddy, thank you. Appreciate you, man. Like I said, you've been rocking since you've been here. So I definitely got to show love and respect, man. Appreciate you. Always, it's great to hear your thoughts. Definitely appreciate you, man, as always. So, thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers, to all the mods, always holding it down. Listen, have a great rest of the night. If you guys are going to watch the Laker game, enjoy that. Any news that you guys would like to tell me, let me know. I could, do something to where I can, probably possibly come up with another stream and then get some of you guys to come in here, man, and always share your thoughts. But listen, have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll be back on the next one. Like, share, subscribe. We chat together. We stream together. We're family for life. Bless up, live, laugh, love. Have a wonderful night, everybody. And y'all know the drill. I am gone. Enjoy the Laker game if you're watching it. And as always, take care.
So many times, and I just wish they would just stop. You know what I mean? Just stop. I mean, he was, Michael Jordan. I'm Kobe Bryant. I mean, we're two different players, and I wish people would just let it go. It really annoys me because you can't compare.